All right, welcome back to the party, everybody. I'm your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Everybody hit that like and subscribe. You know I would do it for you. And let's party. Big shout out to the replay gang. Thank you so much for coming back to watch this, even though you missed the live party, guys. That is the best part. So make sure you are here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. And sometimes whenever I feel like it, been going live almost every single day. So hit that subscribe, ring the bell, and you will never miss an Indian Jesus live party ever again. If you'd like to support the channel, head on over to theindianjesus.com for your very own official merch. We also have a completely free Discord server. It is absolutely free to join. We got our free chat, our current events, a bunch of free channels in there, and it is a grand old time. But if you join as a member of this channel, all you got to do is scroll right below the video here and hit that join button. Comes with a bunch of stuff, not only members only live streams here on YouTube, but it also gives you full access to the Discord server, which includes a bunch of other text channels and the after party channel, where as soon as we are done here on YouTube, we go over to a voice channel where we don't have to worry about any of the sentences. We can say whatever we want, and you are not stuck behind your keyboard. You're actually on screen with me and everybody else. It is a good old time. You should definitely come and join us. All right, so we're gonna be doing something a little bit different today. A little bit different. So, you know, we talk a lot about belief and faith and all that kind of stuff. And obviously, as the atheist Indian Jesus, a lot of people don't necessarily love all of my opinions on that. However, I think today we can come to an understanding of why, in general, belief or rather faith or blind faith is not such a good thing. And so you may have seen the poll that we have up. Do you believe in psychics? I think most of you are old enough to remember who this is. John Edwards. He is a cold call medium who would just gather a bunch of people and magically just know everything about their lives. So let's take a look at this real quick in case you are not familiar. You've definitely seen something like this if you haven't seen it before. But let's take a little look at this. We're going to take a look at somebody else, and then we're going to talk about how crazy it is that dudes like this can make mad money on just BSing people.
Over the years, when they think about psychic phenomena, they think it like in terms of Hollywood,
yes.
Right? They think in terms of what they see on TV. It's really like a daydream. It's an energy. So it's like what you're thinking, seeing, feeling, hearing, all happening simultaneously, like downloaded. Then you're kind of, so I equate it to when you're in school and the teacher was kind of boring and you kind of fogged out and you like stared out the window and you had that thought. Mm-hmm. It's like I'm having that thought while I'm having this thought. So it's like having two things kind of happen simultaneously. It's really like a daydream. I'm just paying attention to what it is. Because
this is just him explaining the process of what happens when he can read your mind.
They're giving me the daydream.
That makes sense. So is there anything you're seeing or feeling right now that or someone you might be able to connect to?
Ooh. Did anybody have either a brain tumor, brain aneurysm, or a cerebral hemorrhage? Not connected to him, not connected to you. Somebody behind you had that. They tell me to talk about the brain aneurysm, the brain hemorrhage. Can you get the mic back? It's in the last row. In the last row. Thank you.
So we started with a brain tumor or a brain aneurysm or anything anything closely related to the brain. If anybody has any issue with their brain, I know it. I know it for sure. I have to ask you. But does anybody have an issue with their brain?
My husband had a brain tumor.
Where's the J name in the family? Okay. So who around you would be the J sounding?
Jacob, my grandson.
So his grandson?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did he know Jacob in life?
Yes.
Okay. And is there somebody who's about ready to get a new car, or is there somebody about ready to do something new with their vehicle?
You notice how it goes from getting a new car to something with their vehicle.
No, I don't think so. No.
No, they are.
Well, I am in the next year. Yeah.
But you're
so a year away. I lease cars, and every 3 to 4 years I need a new car. And so I'm going to plug that in there.
He's starting to talk about it now.
Yes.
Yeah. Because he's making me feel like I'm with you while you're having the conversations, because I feel like it's like almost a wholesale change. Like if you've been a Lexus family, you're now thinking about becoming a Jeep family. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like that type of thing. So there's almost like this, like, can I do that? Am I allowed to do that? Like,
shout out to our boy Wamtech. Welcome to the party. And I believe in psychics. Well, this guy ain't it. All right. So we'll see if that holds up by the end of this conversation. So obviously, the whole thing isn't going to be watching this. I just, in case anybody is not familiar with John Edwards, yes, this is exactly what we're talking about, mentalism and how that can become its own religion. But right now, we'll just, we got a few minutes here with this, and then shout out to our boy Derren Brown, who is going to debunk this entire mentalist, psychic thing. Shout out to the Funk Master General. Welcome to the party. We also got our boy Zippy DSM Lee in the building. Welcome, guys. So, you didn't miss much so far. We're just going in. John Edwards doing his mentalism BS. This was from 7 years ago. He hasn't really been on the scene lately, but other people are. So first he started out. So does anybody have a thing with their brain? Do you have somebody with a J in your family? And is there somebody thinking about doing something with a car? Brilliant.
Yeah, it's like that type of thing. So there's almost like this, like, can I do that? Am I allowed to do that? Like, can I break with tradition and get a new type of, like,
I sold cars for 35 years, so yeah.
So you understand
I sort of, yeah.
Yeah, you have this, like, brand loyalty feeling.
Yes.
He's making me feel like, step out, live a little, enjoy. I am going to ask you, though, are you diabetic? Are you taking...
Yes.
Like, he's making me feel like we need to talk about...
I mean, do we need to say it?
About you taking your blood, like, and like checking the blood and staying on top of that.
All right.
And then who's Stephanie or Stanley?
Right here, my daughter.
Hi, Stephanie.
Zippy says, sure. Psychic. Did I write physics? No. Okay. I was like, physics. I'm going to assume you meant psychic. Psychics can exist, but the likelihood is low since humans would abuse the ish out of them. So you never see them. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think there's probably a way that people get some type of something, but like reading thoughts and doing a seance to talk to the other side and all that, I don't believe in that at all.
I'm assuming you're Stephanie, not Stanley, right? Okay. Just want to clarify. So this would be your dad we're talking about?
Yes.
I feel like I need to let you know then. He's letting you know. Are you Stephanie Ann?
No, but my first name is Anne.
Ann, okay.
So like, no, but a lot of people named Ann of that generation.
Is he telling me Ann? So you're Stephanie and Ann. So it's like his way of letting you know that that he's here. I think you guys have some fun stuff coming up, but I'm going to tell you, Ann, you need to stay on top of your health. Just know that he's okay. And then I'm going to tell you, I'm seeing a white flower, and that means happy birthday. So somebody's birthday is now.
Oh.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Very
guys.
nice.
Thank you.
Wait, when was the birthday? So, he goes on, he does this for a few people, and it's rather interesting as a skill, whether the guy's actually reading people's minds or is just able to, probe with the right questions and make it seem like he's doing that. It's really cool. So this is a different guy, Derren Brown. You may have heard of him. If you have Netflix, as soon as this stream is done, you need to, the stream's already done, before one of you guys was going to say it. As soon as this stream is done, if you have Netflix, you need to go watch Derren Brown's Push. And then there is another one, and no spoilers because it's just so cool. So kind of, in the same realm of psychics, magic, performance, mentalism, I can read your thoughts, same kind of thing. So we have another little thing here. Again, we're not going to watch the whole thing. It's very short. And then we're going to get into the conversation.
I want you to grab one of those chairs, any colour, doesn't matter. One of the chairs, bring it here and take a seat near by the table. The green chair, good choice, just there, that'd be great. If you can take a seat in that, that'd be great. And also, I need you to pick a pen. There are a whole bunch of pens. If you grab one of the, I don't want to see which one you take, so just take it and sort of put it behind your back or cover it up or put it in your pocket or something. Good. Okay.
Wow, we are right now at 100% of you believe in psychics. So any skeptics out there, please hit the poll.
So, Joe, you have on the table here 3 white blocks. What you're going to do is number them 1, 2, and 3. But you can do that in any order you like. And in fact, I'd rather people didn't know what order you did it in. All right? Okay. So you can take them onto the table and do it, and mix them up and bring them out in any order. When you number them, nice and large and clear, only on the one side that faces you, but nice and large and clear. So when we do want to show them around, people can see which number's which. Okay, do that for me now. Go. Take them onto the table.
This is normal speed.
We'll do them one at a time. Mix them up if you like, onto the table, just so nobody could guess which block is which when you bring it out. Tell me when you're done. Okay.
And so again, pretty standard, magic type setup. You got to do this, you got to do that, and I'm going to guess this, that, or the other.
Thank you. Now I want you to stack them in any order you like. So keep those numbers towards you, but stack them one on top of the other, any order that you like. Done that?
No. Done.
Done? Okay. Happy with the order they're in?
Yeah.
I want you kind of making gut decisions here. Good. All right, put the pen away, please. Put it in your pocket. Get it out of the way. Done?
No.
And you pop it.
Yeah.
Quick, Joe. Great. Good. Now, there is a bag just behind you on that little table. I'm not going to look at what you've done. I will keep looking here. Can you grab that paper bag, put it over the blocks so nobody can see? I'm not going to look, Joe. I will keep looking at this lady here.
Okay, I think we can see where this is going, covering up the blocks, and somehow he's going to know what was picked. Gontek said, I like to think psychics and most superpowered people are just now attuned to electromagnetic spectrum. I mean, that's pretty much all our thoughts are anyway. It's the spiritual afterlife and the stuff I'm very skeptical of. I agree. I think that, there is definitely, as much as I said, I do think that there's something like that exists. There absolutely, if that it does exist, if there are people who can sense things more than other people, there is a natural explanation to that. There is a natural explanation. We may not know what it is. We may never know what it is, but it's not magic. It's not magic. Shout out to the B&O Railroad. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Oh, that's not who I... That didn't happen. I don't believe you. Pled guilty in exchange for release. Holy moly! Shout out to the B&O Railroad with breaking news. Of course, they're not gonna. Let me do this. No. All right, let's try a different one. June 24th, 728. Julian Assange, WikiLeaks founder, reaches plea deal to avoid prison in the U.S. Oh my goodness! Can we watch this bet? That's something different. Okay. Escape. Okay. WikiLeaks founder. Shout out. WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange has entered a plea deal for his alleged role. His alleged role in the government data breach as part of an agreement with the Justice Department that will allow him to avoid imprisonment, according to the newly filed federal court documents. Assange will plead guilty. Where are we? Assange will plead guilty to one count of conspiring to obtain and disclose information related to the national defense of a U.S. federal court in Saipan, in the northern Marina Islands, a U.S. Commonwealth of the Pacific. It's 5 years in a British prison. That's epic, dude. That is epic. Let's go. Dilly to Julian Assange. However, the skepticism, I would almost guarantee that the reason this is here now is so that Trump can't use it. I guarantee it. But hey, whatever. Free the man. Welcome to the party. All right, what is Zippy saying? I can believe they exist somewhere, but what you see 99.9% of the time are magicians, cold readers, and tricksters. Talking fast is a good way to trick people. Yep, plausible deniability. Shout out to Indy Bill. Welcome to the party. I believe in Harvey Dent. I had the tagline in my head from Dark Knight, but I forget it. But welcome. Glomtag said, I literally have a chiropractor that can touch your wrist and can tell what you're deficient in and where your misalignments are the worst. He may be a loon, but he's healed multiple things for me and other people I've recommended. I'm a little skeptical. And now our poll of do you believe in psychics is down to 60-40. So the skeptics are on board. Welcome to the party. Again, we were just watching John Edwards, the guy who's like, do you have a J or a B or a C and some of your name? And somebody's like, oh my God, yes, my name's Carol. How did you know? And tell all the information and whatever. This is a different guy who is does the same type of thing, but his main thing is to show you how to do it. And you know, while this kind of thing, again, just showing to show who he is, it is more for the performance aspect. The conversation we're going to get into is about believing in all of these tricksters and magicians and cold readers and all that stuff. All right, so far he's sat in a chair, he's picked numbered blocks, he's picked a colored pen, and he's got in a bag here.
Put it over the block so nobody can see. I'm not going to look, Joe. I will keep looking at this lady here, specifically just down her top. Does nothing for me, don't worry. Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Have you done it? Are they covered?
Yeah.
Joe, are you happy? First of all, that bag genuinely covers them and you can't see, what's what. Yeah. We'll just turn it, maybe just... Joe, are you happy that it was a free choice, that the way in which you ordered the bricks was a completely free choice? Are you happy with that?
Yep.
And you're happy that the numbers can't be seen. All right, Joe, I need you to do one more thing for me. There is a stand just there with a sort of a mic stand with a clip in it. I've got a couple here as well. Can you grab that? Perfect, yep, that's it. There's a red cross. If you could just put it there, that'll be...
So here's the issue, though. Immediately, we know that the placebo effect has a 30% effective rate. So no matter what, if you hand people sugar pills, 30% of them, and tell them that it's going tell people that it's going to do something, 30% of those people are gonna be like, "Wow, that helped." That's a good intro. That's definitely good information.
Now I've got a couple here as well. Can you grab that? Perfect. Yep, that's it. There's a red cross. If you can just put it there, that'll be great. All right. So Joe, come here for me. You happy this was a free choice? A seemingly free choice?
Yeah.
Yeah? If you take that for me. Oh, well, there are a number of seemingly free choices that you've made since you came up here. And about an hour before any of you came in, I sat on this stage wondering about what seemingly free choices I could make you or whoever came up pick. I took photographs of me with those predictions and put them in that envelope. Now, if you open the envelope up, you'll see inside are 3 large photographs. I don't want you to see what they are yet. I want you to take them out face down and place them on the table, all right? Please don't look at what they are yet and don't show anybody else either. Great. But can you just check there's nothing else in the envelope? Happy with that?
The envelope?
Excellent. Good.
How did he know?
So, the first decision that you made when you came up, Joe, was the choice of...
The chair.
The chair, very good. And you went for the green chair?
Yeah.
So you can see back here, well, if we move that, you can see there's a blue chair, red chair, and a green chair.
As opposed to the red or the blue. Happy that was a free choice?
Yeah.
A seemingly free choice. Yeah. Yet, the first picture that we took is of me with the, say it, Joe?
Green chair.
The green chair. Round of applause for Joe.
How did he know?
It's the green chair. Hold on.
It's magic.
The green chair. Excellent. And the next choice you made, what was that?
It was the pen.
The pen.
Yeah.
Now, there are about 60 different pens in there, all different colours. Don't take it out yet. The pen I hope you went for was the blue pen. Joe, do you want to show them what you've got? What colour is it? It is indeed
blue.
The blue pen. Can you see that? The blue pen, a perfect match. A perfect match. Good. Well done. Good. And there's one more. One more decision that you made up here.
All right.
Call it psychic. Call it coincidence. You be the judges, ladies and gentlemen. But that is, I believe, a perfect match. Yes. Oh, yeah. I realise that's pathetic. But if you think about it, free choice of pen, let's say that's one in, whatever, 60 or so. Free choice of how to then stack the bricks in that colour. The chances of stacking the bricks in the predicted order, in the particular colour, it's about 1 in a billion. Trust me. If you take the bag off the bricks, drop the bag on the floor, turn the bricks around slowly from the bottom. In blue pen, 3, 1, 2. Excellent, Joe, you've been sensational. Joe, everybody, go.
And so again, this is not anything, brand new to you. This is something you've seen all the time, and people are very good at doing this. But a lot of people, unlike Derren Brown, who we just saw, after he goes on to do that, he'll explain, how I did this and why you shouldn't just believe everything that you see. So we are going to go over this discussion with our boy Richard Dawkins, talking to Derren Brown about exactly that and exposing fraudulent psychics. Before we dive in, we got our boy King Nirvana. Welcome to the party. Let's do it.
Derren, could you begin by telling me what cold reading is and how it's used?
Cold reading, I suppose, is the way that a complete stranger can seemingly tell you everything about yourself without being psychic.
Which is exactly what we saw with the first guy, John Edwards.
And without knowing anything about you. In essence, the cold reader or psychic is supplying a lot of words, and you as the sitter, the other person, is supplying the meaning to those words. And it relies on a lot of techniques. It's not really a question of forensic body reading and the sort of things that people might. It's not really normally even that clever.
So what he means by that is like you'll say that, okay, if there's a B in your name and you're looking for micro twitches in the people's face or like a reaction or something like that, nope.
There are linguistic tricks which, unless you're aware of them, are very easy to fall for. And those tricks can give the impression that the person knows everything about your character, or might refer to facts and things from your life or from your past that they seemingly couldn't know about.
So if a psychic, a so-called psychic, a trickster, was trying to pretend to guess, I don't know, the name of the sitter's grandfather or something like that.
Which again is exactly what we saw. But let's shout out Indie Film! Thank you for the $5 Rumble Rant. Of course, every donation comes with a treat for my co-host Morty. Thank you so very, very much, sir. And of course, that makes you the new sponsor of the stream. Thank you so much, sir. We very much appreciate that.
Yes, I don't know the name of the sitter.
Oh, and right behind him is our boy Zippy the Strange. What happened to my applause? There we go. That's 2 in a row. 2 in a row. Morty's loving it. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I very, very, very much appreciate the both of you.
Was trying to pretend to guess, I don't know, the name of the sitter's grandfather or something like that. What would be the kind of thing they might do?
Well, very often. I mean,
So I would guess that you would use. So what we saw with John Edwards is a J name, a J, because like think about how many names start with J. You got John, you got all that kind of all that kind of stuff.
Even guessing the name of a grandfather, if you back up, what tends to happen is that the psychic will, if it's with a group of people, throw out a name and saying, I'm getting the name John or Albert or some name that's sort of suitable for the age group they're working with.
And of course, he picks a name with a J. And so just so that we're putting this straight out front, guys, the purpose of showing you this conversation is because I believe the same exact things that are at play with these cold readers and tricksters and all that stuff are at play in your church, in your synagogue, in whatever it is. And I'm not asking you to believe me. I'm just asking you to look at the similarities between the way people that we all agree are full of itch, the way that they operate, and just compare that to definitely, there's whatever religion you're in, that there's hucksters within your religion, but even the honest ones. See how much this overlaps, and if it doesn't, let me know.
The psychic will, if it's with a group of people, throw out a name and saying, I'm getting the name John or Albert or some name that's sort of suitable for the age group they're working with. And now that name could refer to a person in the audience who's living, or it could refer to someone that's died, or it could be a friend of the, it really could be anything. So it's up to somebody to pick up on it and turn it into what they want it to be. And of course, If they say, yes, that was my husband, then the reader can go, yes, that's right. He's here. He's saying he still loves you, or whatever that is. And they turn it back into, make it sound as if they were saying it was your husband, when in fact it could have been anybody. It could have been the name of the person that was sat there. The kind of methods that involved the Barnum statement is very sort of famous and well known about. And there's a great experiment.
Remind us what the Barnum.
Yeah, I was gonna say we might have to look that up, but good job.
Well, there's a terrific experiment that was done on this with students. I've filmed this myself. We did it with 3 different groups of people across the world, where you have everybody in the group is given a reading, a personality reading, and normally beforehand there's some nonsense about asking for their birth date or getting some objects off them. That so there's some.
See, I'm helping you make money while we getting entertained. Well, I mean, what more could you ask for?
Sort of process apparently involved, and they're given a reading, and it's a long reading. It's a very detailed personality reading, and they all get one individually. They're all asked to read it. And invariably,
before
they
the
will all
show?
say afterwards that it's very, very accurate, that it was not at all vague or ambiguous of what people might expect. And they'll give it 85, 90, 95% accuracy. And I've seen this happen, and people are amazed by it.
Shout out to my boy Buddha. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party. Good to see you guys. If I could ask you a huge favor, it is so quick, easy, and free, and it helps out so much. If you could just hit that like button, that is it. It helps so very much. Thank you.
And then you get them to swap with each other. And so,
Wait, what?
I've seen this happen. I'll give it 85, 90, 95% accuracy. And I've seen this happen, and people are amazed by it. And then you get them to swap with each other. And so maybe perhaps you can identify someone else by their reading, then they realize they've all been given exactly the same thing.
This is similar to the thing where people believe in astrology, and they'll label. They'll give you a fake newspaper where the whatever you call it, the reading, the astrology reading, whatever the hell you call it. They'll mix up, and the one for Virgo they'll put for Sagittarius and whatever the other ones are, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, it's so on point, exactly what they're saying here." And they tell them afterwards, like, "We were messing with you." Yikes!
So maybe perhaps you can identify someone else by their reading, then they realize
horoscope. Thank you.
They've all been given exactly the same thing. Which was written months ago before I even met them, And the statements that fill those sorts of readings are generally Barnum statements. And Barnum statements are things which essentially apply to anybody. This is only part of the cold reading skill, but it's a major part of it.
It comes from P.T. Barnum, the circus proprietor,
That's
who
right.
said, "We have something for everybody."
Something for
All right, he's not explaining it. So, okay, what is a Barnum statement? Make quick videos, 4 minutes. All right.
About a year ago, a friend convinced me to go to a psychic for a tarot reading. I agreed, but as a steadfast skeptic in all things mystical, I set my expectations very low.
I said, shit, me too.
Nevertheless, the psychic was entertaining and even provided a tarot reading that was surprisingly accurate and insightful.
Yo, this just reminded me. The last time I was in Florida to visit family, my dad's brother's wife, or is his wife or his wife's friend? I don't know. Either way, one of them is super into tarot cards and whatever. And it's like, oh, let me do a reading. And of course, I am the skeptic of skeptics. So I'm like, all right, I'm open to it. I'll give it a try. And there was a lot of vague things that did apply to my life, but they were so vague that it's like, how is this helpful? It's like, well, there's going to be a deep love soon in your life. What? Okay, thanks. I don't get it. I don't get it. The government runs on tricking people too. Exactly. That's the main thing that we need to be focusing on. If we're worried about people with the goddamn Barnum effect and tarot cards and astrology and mentalists and all that stuff, then we're not all focused on the government. Exactly the point, sir.
In most cases, I would have admitted that my skepticism was perhaps misplaced. But as soon as I got out of the building, it occurred to me that he hadn't been all that accurate and that I had just experienced the Barnum effect. The Barnum effect is a type of bias that causes a person to believe that certain things are real or accurate despite the evidence being vague or ambiguous. The concept.
So I didn't fall for the Barnum effect when I was like, oh, wow, that does apply to me, but in such a vague way that you're not really doing anything. Like, you're going to eat tomorrow.
Is named for American showman and circus magnate P.T. Barnum, who claimed that his sideshows and attractions had something that would appeal to everyone. Barnum's claims drew large crowds who believed that they would experience something unique, even though they actually had a limited number of attractions. If you think back to my story about the psychic, there's a rational explanation for my experience. Psychics claim to possess supernatural abilities that allow them to see the future or gain insight into a person's past with little to no information given to them beforehand.
Can you, though?
This makes the experience seem deeply personal and unique, even though what they really provide is vague and generalizing assessments that could be applicable to most people at one point or another. For example, if I were to give you a psychic reading, I might ask some basic questions about your life and present problems, and then suggest that you feel as though things are out of control or that you fear that you're not making enough money.
Right. Okay. So yeah, that's the Barnum effect. That because it applies to you, you feel like, oh wow, that was something special, even though it's very vague. Zippy said astronomy or astrology, because astronomy is real, astrology is not. So astrology and tarot cards are neat, but only if you link R and G. I don't know what that means. If you're not a fan of random chance and have a brain, you won't enjoy it. Fair enough. Buddha says, I believe some people may have psychic abilities, but I don't believe psychics. I believe in God. Fair enough. Fair enough. And so now we are at 10 votes. Do you believe in psychics? Our poll 50-50. So make sure you break that tie. Context and best believe the government has the budget and scientists to study what is and isn't bullshit. Propaganda is full of this stuff. No amount of advertising is wasted, no matter how random. Yup. I was just watching a video on some apparently not Dr. Beast, Mr. Beast made a site similar to Social Blade. If you're not a YouTuber, basically you can go and check like how a channel is doing. It's not super accurate, but it shows some different information than is on Social Blade, and you can see how many times he specifically Mr. Beast, but a lot of people will change their thumbnails and update this and tweak it a little bit. And there was one guy where they had the exact same thing, but they turned the saturation up just a tiny bit. Actually, let me do this as a public service announcement for any content creator. Do not use the A/B testing feature. Do not use the A/B testing feature. It is absolutely useless. It is based on watch time, which is not the purpose of a thumbnail. Do not use the A/B tester. You will get bad results. Shout out to Steven. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party. Good to see you. Good to see you. We also got our boy Kelly Green. What is good? If you believe in Kelly Green, then I'll bestow good music and vibes upon you. I believe. I believe. I believe. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, let's dive back in here. So the
P.T. Barnum, the circus proprietor, who said, we have something for everybody.
Something for everyone, that's right. And famously, a sucker was born every minute. So these are statements along the lines of, you're somebody who... you tend to keep people a little bit at bay, but when
you're a caring person,
you're a caring. You keep people a little bit at bay. There, you tend to keep people at arm's length. But when you allow people into that inner sanctum of, when they become your close friends, if they betray you, then that really hurts. And you're not saying anything other than you're closer to people that you're close to. Then it means nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Yes. And horoscopes are the same. I mean, that they use the same principle.
Because those things have to apply to anybody, because there's no interaction going on. A horoscope or something given, when everyone's getting the same thing. There's no feedback. So you're simply relying on things that apply to anybody. What you can do when you're interacting with somebody is you can fork off from one way or another. I think I say that. You can go.
You can explain that one, but the point here is that the Barnum effect, the ability to use really vague information that then you will interpret and fill in the blanks is very dangerous, because if you are looking for, we know this, if you're looking for something to work even though it doesn't, then it will seem to you like it works, disconnected from whether or not it actually does. The placebo effect. It's a real thing.
One way or the other, depending on the response you get. So if I said to you that the spirits are telling me you've got quite a temper, you could answer yes or no to that. You might agree or disagree. Now, if you agree with it, it feels like a hit, and I can say, yes, that's right. I can sense that you've got a real temper, ... If you say no, I can say... well, not on the outside. I mean, what you've done is you've learned how to sort of keep that very contained, but inside you'll be aware that there are some things that really kind of knock you up and make you very angry. But what's great about you is that you've learned to control it on the outside. It still feels like a hit. Linguistically, what they tend to do is they say, they put the word not into the question. So they'll say things like, one recent reading I was listening to was, she said, now you haven't been drinking a lot of water recently, have you? And by phrasing it in the negative, it allows a yes or no to be a hit. And the answer was no. And she said, well, you should.
And then you go in that way. So Glomtex said, speaking of placebo, how would atheism square that circle? What circle? What is the placebo that we're talking about with atheism? I don't think that applies.
Should do. The spirit's telling me you need to be drinking more than you are. You haven't been drinking much. It sounded like a hit. Equally, if the person said yes, it would have seemed like yes. They're telling me either way. Then a common ruse also is to make statements that allow you to have both sides of the coin in one go. So, for example, if I said to you, you've got an extrovert side and an introvert side, that's not remotely convincing at all. That seems to be a given. But if you say to somebody, when you're at a party, you're very good. You're very good at being able to hold court. You know, you can entertain people. You're very good at being really the life and soul of the party. But what's interesting about you is that when you walk away from that, you'll often find yourself at home running back through conversations in your head and wondering, oh, what did that person mean? Why did I say that? That was stupid. And when you're even at those parties, even though you like to think that you're somebody who can be you know, in charge and very charismatic, you'll often find yourself just stood there thinking, God, why am I here? It's like everyone is a million miles away, and you're aware that that is a facade that you put on.
We were just talking. What were we just talking about? Where you know, levels of like turning it on. Was this in Discord? I forget where we were talking about this. But you know, the aspect of the notion that you can have your natural behavior, and then you can, you know, it's similar to code switching, but not quite that. But so okay, Golden Text, how does atheism perceive the placebo effect? There's no proof of how it works, so I'm just curious if an atheist would have an opinion on how it works or what it is. Yeah, power of suggestion. People want a thing, so they convince themselves that it's true. Just like God, just like psychics, just like chiropractors. Actually, I'm going to leave that one out. I'm biased on my dad because he's always like, oh, a chiropractor. But I definitely want to see a chiropractor because I think that would help. But I was just throwing that one in there as a joke. But it's the same exact thing. That's the entire point. The entire point is that religion is a placebo effect. Psychics are a placebo effect. Tarot cards are a placebo effect. Horoscopes are a placebo effect. They're all the same thing. Yet somehow, not you personally, but somehow you guys can see how silly it is with this one, this one, this one, this one, this one that you don't believe in. But this one, you swear by it. You swear by it. Okay, bro. Okay, whatever you say. I'm just saying be careful because you know that the power of suggestion in your own mind can make you believe things that are not true. Shout out to the Funk Master General. Said psychic forces told me that the Overlord wants another treat. Well, see, that's the placebo effect because Morty always wants another treat. And indeed, he will get one from the Funk Master General. Oh, this one's all skinny and fatty, and he's going to love that one. Thank you, thank you, thank you so very, very much, sir. And of course, that makes you the new sponsor of the stream. Let's celebrate his third super chat on a live stream. Thank you, thank you, thank you so very, very much, sir. All right, let's dive back in here.
You know, in charge and very charismatic, you'll often find yourself just stood there thinking, God, why am I here? It's like everyone is a million miles away, and you're aware that that is a facade that you put on. Now, whether or not that applies to you, the fact is, all I'm doing is saying that you've got an introvert and an extrovert side, which cancels itself out. It means nothing, and yet most people will find a way of sort of making that easily fit themselves.
Now, when you analyze...
Okay, hold on. So if we're saying the placebo effect has healed people, if it's the power of suggestion, then suggestion and belief alone have actually had real effects. Sure. Yes. And what does this have to do with God? So the fact that you can believe in a thing that does not exist and create your own effects, that has to do with the power of your mind. That doesn't have to do with anything about God or tarot or horoscopes or anything. I'm completely on board with belief has power. That's what I'm saying. The placebo effect is very real. Just like in religion and tarot and horoscopes and all those things. You need no hard proof to see that you can believe in a thing that is false and still get benefits from it. That's why I'm not looking to take religion away from anybody. All I'm looking to do is show you that despite whatever you get or don't get from it, it's not true.
Will find a way of sort of making that easily fit themselves.
Now, when you analyze these things like the Barnum effect and cold reading, you're doing it in a sort of rational way. I take it that the psychics and palm readers and astrologers and people who do it know perfectly well what they're doing, and therefore they are fakes. But are all of them fakes, or do some of them somehow manage to fool themselves as well?
Good question. I would definitely think that some people feel like they're good enough at this that they've convinced themselves that it's something other than just a vibe. Because again, Richard Dawkins is going to be like, this does not exist at all. I'm open to the idea that there are people who have a connection to something. I'm not willing to determine what that something is or any, but there's something that's something. I'm willing to leave that space open. He's not. But a good question either way. So Buddha says they're all tools and different things to teach or entertain. We all have our own special gifts and talents. It's all about our conscious intentions. We are way more powerful than we can possibly comprehend. True. We also got Dionysus in the building. Welcome to the party. Shout out to Richard Spencer talking about Liber of Dionysus. Shout out if you know what I'm talking about. Dionysus, for all we know, we may be in a simulation within many other simulations. Exactly. And so the mechanism behind why does the placebo effect work, or why does belief work, is the question, Quantum Tech, that you should be answering, or excuse me, asking. Because I'm not here saying that the power of belief does not do anything. I'm saying quite the opposite. That even if your entire religion is a fairy tale, if you believe in it hard enough, you can have hard results in your, hard benefits in your life. That doesn't make it true. That doesn't make it true. What I am after is what is true. Because I believe, because it's always been the case, that the closer to the truth that we can get, the better, even if we are imagining things and using that placebo effect, the more on point it will be, and the better our lives will be. Buddhist consciousness can keep rice from spoiling. No, it can't. No, it can't. That's fake.
But are all of them fakes, or do some of them somehow manage to fool themselves as well?
I think the difference is how good they are at it, which is unfair in a way, because it maybe a bit becomes, or maybe it's unfair.
The good ones are the fakes.
I think the difference is you can see when cold reading is at work, when you know the tricks, when you know the same old things coming out about. You've got an old box of photographs at home with and you've got the sort of the tricks that they come out with, and the pushing for statements, making somebody make a statement hit, and if they don't, moving on to the next person.
Or similarly, the types of arguments that come out for this belief or that belief or this religion or that God. Once you start to see through the matrix, it gets a lot easier to understand.
One I was listening to recently, you've been doing a lot of spirit telling. You've been doing a lot of sewing. And that woman was like, no. So, well, is it somebody in the spirit plane has been doing a lot of sewing? No, she couldn't make a hit. And it was, so went to the next person. Is it for you? You've been doing a lot of sewing. The woman was, no. She said, well, there's a coat. You've got a coat at home with there's a button that's loose or a hem that's loose. No, I mean, it wasn't working. And in the end, she said, well, have a look for that, my dear. They're telling me there's a, and it went from somebody with, to nothing. So when you see that, that's clearly that person they know exactly what they're doing. They're desperately trying to get a hit.
And we can point it, and again, the bottom line here is that we can so easily point it out in some respects, but other people, or rather other respects, it just goes right over our heads because of what? Our desire to believe, our desire for it to be true.
However, I think the people that are, I've been to psychic training colleges and seen people that are very sincerely trying to learn. They've been told.
Yes, this has been debunked over and 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 over again.
Oh, they believe that they're a bit psychic because we all have a certain amount of intuition, and we all, if we misunderstand things like kind of coincidence and a phone ringing because we've been thinking of somebody earlier on that day and the phone rings and it's them, we might mistake that for being psychic if we don't really understand how those things can easily happen quite a lot of the time. So I think there are plenty of people who learn it genuinely and really think that, whether it's palm reading or tarot cards or whatever, that there really is a system, and they just
they go to a training course.
These things do exist. But equally, you can buy books on it nowadays.
Yeah.
I mean,
but I'm just.
I wonder what that looks like. Okay, let's go. Let's just. Okay, let's say. Books on how to. No, courses Courses on how to, what do we want to say here? Courses on how to read minds. There are several courses, says the Google AI. There are several courses on mind reading and mentalism, including courses that teach magic tricks and others that focus on cognitive science. Let's see. What do we got? Okay, the first one we got here. Oh, Jesus, the mind reading class. Okay, before you read the details of the mind reading course, please understand the difference between mentalism and mind reading. Mind reading is actually a subset of mentalism. It means mentalism is a study of several skills that includes mind reading, predictions, telepathy, telekinesis, hypnosis, and some more. In simple words, mentalism is a subject and mind reading is one of its most important chapters. So you don't even get the whole book. You don't even get the whole book. How much does this course cost? Not even a price. So it's too expensive. And these pictures do not inspire confidence. Scammer, 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 scammer. They're all scammers. They're all scammers. I don't know. Maybe it's not the soul or God, but I truly believe the ether is a real thing and that we're all connected to it. There's too much interconnections to make me believe otherwise. And fine. You can make the argument for personal incredulity or the ether of the gas. There's a bunch of stuff here that I don't understand. Therefore, this must be true. You can make that argument, but that doesn't make it true. That doesn't make it true. And so again, if we're just talking about what you want to believe in the privacy of your own mind and home and whatever, do you, homie? Do you? But understand that when we publicly put faith in these things, then it affects other people who may not be as smart and discerning and skeptical as you are. And I think that's not good. And I mean, ask anybody who's had a parent who's been scammed by one of these people. They believe, just like all the people who tithe 10% of all their money that they can't afford, and they go into debt in retirement because God said, and that's the way to do it, and I believe it, and it works, and I've seen it, and da 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 da.
Go to a training course.
These things do exist, but equally you can buy books on it nowadays.
Yeah.
I mean,
but I'm just trying to get into the mind of one of the instructors on the training course. I mean, the instructors on the training course are teaching cold reading while dressing it up as though it was genuine. So they really are charlatans then.
Then I mean, they're probably lost in the sauce, and they probably believe it themselves, as he was saying before. That there's probably people who do this and think that they are legitimately tapping into something more than they can explain. If you are somebody who thinks that you can tap into the ether or the electromagnetic field or whatever it is, then why are you not talking to scientists who understand that, to be able to hone that in and see, oh, am I right or am I wrong? Am I close? Can I get closer? Can I do better? Can I better read the ether? Can I connect more? But it never is. It's always about, give me money and I'll tell you things that you couldn't possibly know or verify. You find me a psychic that's not charging money, and then we'll talk.
Dressing it up as though it was genuine. So they really are charlatans then.
I think so. I think so. It's difficult because cold reading is something that you can be taught to do without it seeming like tricks.
Okay.
I've been in a situation where trainee psychics are sat around saying things to each other like, "Oh, I'm sensing there's some of the great things I heard was, I'm sensing you're on a bus and the bus is going the wrong way." But it might not be a bus, it might be a relationship. and when you're hearing things like that, you think, well, okay, this isn't cold reading, this is just people sort of hypothesizing intuition.
Just saying things.
And I'm just learning to I'll just speak openly, and I know this other person's going to make it fit because we're all partisan and we're all learning together. And that just seems sort of naive and a bit of a shame.
When they're learning it all together, they're still dressing it up in their own minds as the spirit world talking to them, rather
absolutely.
than.
But all it is it's just being intuitive and being open and being, well, just say what you feel. That's all it is. It's this whole thing of intuiting your way to enlightenment and knowledge, which is, a potentially disastrous way of thinking. As for what the teachers are teaching.
And so this is where I get a little frustrated. So number one, my consciousness can stop rise from spoiling. I don't know what that means. I might very well believe that whatever action or process you're talking about, I do believe in that. So I don't know where you got that. And then I spent 20 years as a Christian, confirmed in the, I was baptized in the Catholic Church and confirmed in the Methodist Church. I'm very, very familiar with praying. I do it every single day. But yeah, God's going to listen to you over me, right? Because you're better than me.
Potentially disastrous way of thinking. As for what the teachers are teaching them, I can only imagine that the teachers who are maybe more media savvy, more sort of career psychics and mediums, are very aware of what's going on and very aware of what the tricks are. But it's difficult to tell. But yes,
I've heard it suggested that.
The rice. Okay, so if you don't believe that your consciousness is going to stop rice from spoiling, you need to learn how to pray. I'll pray for you, brother. And so yes, I am familiar with this, and I'm also familiar with how often it's been debunked. But Rowan, welcome to the party. Good to see you. The wrong comment, man. I recommend as an atheist, you should look more into Dr. Emoto. Again, I already have. I think you should look further into the people talking about Dr. Emoto's scientific experiments. Again, you've decided that, I like this and it works for me. So I'm going to believe it. Why wouldn't this be? Why wouldn't this be something every spiritual religious person? Why wouldn't this be something that every person does? Why wouldn't you have rice in your home and pray on it every day and show that this is real, or the water, or the whatever? You can't. That's why. Do it and prove me wrong. Do it and prove me wrong.
Maybe more media savvy, more sort of career psychics and mediums are very aware of what's going on and very aware of what the tricks are. But it's difficult to tell. But yes,
I've heard it suggested that sometimes these rather lucrative acts that people put on of psychic divination and things often start out as a kind of folie à deux, that somebody and his partner or his father or something kind of manage to convince each other that.
I don't know what that means. Folie à deux. I'm pretty sure so I'm going to say,
folie à deux.
There we go. A delusion. Is it a delusion?
Lucrative acts that people put on of psychic divination and things often start out as a kind of folie à deux, that somebody and his partner or his father or something kind of manage to convince each other that they can do something that they can't, and they sort of rev each other up. And then when they sort of realize that they're not quite as good as they thought, they kind of, each one tries to help the other one because they in some sense genuinely believe it. Have you ever come across that?
And are you talking about psychic performers?
So I think I'm talking about psychic performers who
Dawkins, you need a better cameraman and you need a second cameraman, because this whole I don't like it.
Actually use conjuring tricks and pretend that they're not, but still kind of half believe in that they really are psychic, because once they had a really good success, which was a genuine accident or something, and so they're encouraged by this folie à deux partnership.
Exactly. Doctors, right? Doctor and
maybe the partner rigs it so that even the performer thinks he's getting hits, which he's really not, that kind of thing.
I think the more common route, I think there are two common routes. One is the magician who crosses over to the dark side, who knows what he's doing, realizes there's more money to be made in psychic readings than there is in doing tricks.
Money. You want examples of that?
You want examples of that? There's plenty of that around. Yeah. The other route is the sort of the stage medium, going back to sort of Doris Stokes very famously, sort of normally from showbiz stock. Have normally been taught the skills by people from that world that just see it as part of performance, as part of showbiz. And again, I think those are skills that are then turn rather ugly. But that's a very common route as well. I think very rarely, I think, is there any real belief in it, other than the fact that if you are spending your life lying to people, how do you deal with that other than rationalize it in your own head after a while and decide, well, I do kind of believe in it.
Cognitive dissonance. People are not used to having conflicting beliefs. And so if you know something is false and you're saying that it's true, then you're more likely to convince yourself to get rid of that cognitive dissonance that, well, maybe it is true, and maybe I just didn't know, and I'm making money and I didn't think it was true, but maybe it is true. Everything I'm saying applies to all of it.
And I do believe that intuition, it may not be psychic, but I do believe that I'm intuitive, and that maybe that does give me an insight and it comforts people. And you start to rationalize it and maybe create a sort of a loose belief around it that follows after the fact. But
so what about, he just used the word intuition. Intuition. So if we're moving away from, let's just say, unproven things, then intuition is a different thing than a connection or any of those things. That, I think, is I think the base reality that some people are more intuitive than others and can pick up on things, whether it's other people's emotions, whether it's something in the air that is electrical or spiritual or something that we don't know about. I think that can exist. I don't know that it does. I think it can exist, but I don't think it goes that far. Shout out to Nick Luchetti in the building. Welcome to the party. Didn't miss too much so far. We did. I'm sure you remember John Edwards, this guy who he's a psychic medium. We'll do a little backup to Nick. Welcome. I'm gonna tell you to the party. I'm sure Nick, you have to remember this guy, right?
This audience has someone that passed that either went off the road or was thrown from a vehicle, because I'm feeling airborne. So there's got to be an airborne kind of connection.
Damn.
Okay, can I get a mic? And did she pass? Okay. I just need you to know that what they're showing me, and I'm just so used to seeing things, is that when they do this, it's like an airborne feeling.
Yeah. They were over a hill and they came down and went off the side of the road.
Okay, and this is your sister?
Yes.
And you said she was ejected?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know if it's happened in the last 7 years, or if I'm supposed to tell you the number 7, which would be July or the 7th of a month, meaning something for your family.
The number 7. When Kevin Samuels goes on his show and says, rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, what does he say? Can't use 7. Why? Because that's, of course, the nice number that's right in the middle, but it's not. It's like, it's so simple. And Zabuda saying, sorry, brother, no apologies necessary. Having a hard time with talk to text as I am packing. Ooh, where are you going? In no way, shape, or form do I think that I'm better than you. You are my brother, and I admire you and all that you do. I very much appreciate that. I just have to, again, point out that people receive the things that you say in a different way than you might be used to. And the default of, I'm going to pray for you, being a thing. Like, yes, I'm not angry. But that is a statement that, if you logically play that out, what would you praying for me do? Is God waiting for you or enough people to pray for me before he reveals himself to me, despite the fact that I dedicated 20 years of my life to him, not knowing anything else? I know that you have no ill will in your heart, nor does any Christian when they say, I'll pray for, well, maybe not any Christian, but you certainly don't have any ill will in your heart. I completely understand that. But I have to rep the beliefs that I have. And it's people who don't believe, and especially people who used to believe, that's what it sounds like when you say that. And so you're free to say whatever you want. And I personally understand that you mean it in a positive way. But I'm just giving you the information that there's other people who may be on your team. Again, the whole background to all of everything on this channel is the politics of it all. That there may be people who you want on your team who, because of religious language, you push them over to the other side. And it's not just you. It's certainly not just you. I mean, everybody says, I'll pray for you, Jesus loves you, all that kind of stuff. But you got to think about, if somebody is on the outside of that, what does that mean? What would it make you feel? Oh, you believe in Jesus? Oh, I'm so sorry. That's so sad. I'm gonna pray to Klambadra for you, and maybe one day you can relieve all of your gleeps, and you can sit right beside Gordon. You'd be like, what the fuck does that mean? He says, yep, I remember that dude. Don't remember what he was talking about before, but at least I remember him. Yep, almost 45 years old. Yeah, the guy just saying, like, is there a J somewhere in your family? And she's like, yes, Jacob. Oh my God, I definitely knew that. He's speaking to me. Like, oh, well, he's still alive. Well, no, I meant like somebody in the past who is connected to him is actually communicating with me, and I just want to tell you that he said everything's going to be fine.
What?
Okay, dude. Okay, dude. Buddha said, I believe I am a plant psychic. Some people call it a green thumb. All I know is I can take a plant that is on its deathbed and bring it back, transform it into the best version it can become. So can plants that are on their deathbed typically not come back? Because the plants that I'm familiar with, like, we're having a heat wave and we're not allowed to water our lawns right now. So all the grass in my whole development is brown and dead. But you water it, and then it comes back to life. So, I mean, maybe you are a psychic, or maybe that's just how plants work. I don't know. I don't know your life. Maybe you are a plant psychic. Rowan said, curious, what is your conclusion after 20 years? Oh, no. It's been 35 years of looking for God. I just haven't been a Christian believing that he exists for the last 15. My conclusion is that he probably doesn't exist. And if he does, he's an asshole, because I dedicated my life to him. And at any moment, he could have revealed himself. When I was a suicidal 11-year-old, he could have revealed himself. When I was spent years as a drug addict, he could have revealed himself. When I decided that his religion supposedly was wrong, and I rejected it and continued to pray and ask for guidance, he could have revealed himself, and he didn't. So either he doesn't exist, or he's at least being an asshole to me. Wow, a plant psychic. We got 2 plant psychics in the chat. Let's go.
When you start to rationalize it and maybe create a sort of a loose belief around it that follows after the fact. But I think very few people get into it.
Joke's on them, because I wasn't going to water my grass anyway. I don't give a shit.
But at that level, from any kind of sincere beginnings.
They do make a lot more money by pretending to be psychic than they do by frankly admitting that they are conjurers.
Yes, it's a huge racket. And there's a very fine line to be tread. I mean, in my world, I'm sort of, on the one hand, trying to create a magic illusion. On the other hand, wanting to be honest about it as well, and kind of show people a bit of what it is. It's a difficult line to tread. And I think if you're morally really not too fussed about it, it comes down to, a lot of the justification that psychics give is that it comforts people. And
almost like priests, right? But we know priests, as much as they make people feel good, they also make little boys feel good.
My feeling on that is, well, if they're lies, who are you to decide that your lies are what people need to hear to comfort them? And
Exactly.
I think it's a twisted logic. And I think that the reason.
So Ron asked, is it possible you are brushing off all the things you could be grateful for and only choosing to see the ways you are misfortunate? Think of the others that are in worse positions than you. So no, I am extremely grateful for my life. I am way more grateful for my life as an atheist than I ever was as a Christian, because I believed I was a bad Christian. I was a bad person. I believed that God was hiding from me because I did wrong things. And that's what drove me to being suicidal. I didn't have a great relationship with my family, and I thought God was doing that to me. As I got older, and I, actually read the Bible, and I actually started looking at different areas of moral philosophy, I was able to not expect that there was a being that was doing all of the things, and that people are just people. And I can understand that my parents were, of a different generation, of a different, they're immigrants. I'm a first-generation American. They didn't know what most American parents knew. They didn't know how to raise American children as easily as American parents. And so I am extremely grateful for everything that I have. And I am more grateful for the universe itself because I do believe that it is a natural occurrence. So I could understand. But again, notice how the immediate thing is, oh, well, you must be angry. I'm living the dream, baby. But why did your mind go there? Do I seem like I'm a unhappy person? Maybe. I don't think so. I think I've been pretty playful here. You know, I called out Buddha for that one thing, but I think I explained that. And maybe it does seem like I'm an ungrateful person. But if you spend some more time here, you will definitely see that is not the case. Yeah. So just because I think somebody's an asshole doesn't mean I'm not grateful. No. So would we all agree that Joe Biden is an asshole? Or between Trump and Biden, that but one of them is an asshole? Does that mean that we are angry, or are we just stating facts or opinions for that matter? I think there's a lot of people that I've spoken to directly that I know exist that are assholes, and that I'm not angry about it. That's just my opinion of them. There's no one in your life that you think is an asshole? Or not even in your life. There's nobody on earth that you think is an asshole, Rowan? That's pretty cool. I mean, I'm jealous. That's pretty cool. That's awesome. If you're walking this earth and you think nobody is an asshole, either you're not paying attention, or you have such an open heart that you just see the most amazing things in the worst people. But I mean, we got wars going on all over the world. Nobody's gonna, and no part of that, and there's no assholes there at all. Oh, but it's because I said God, and God is so amazing, and so I must be angry at God. Do you see the projection? You're just filling in these blanks of what you think people think. Why don't you just hang out and let me say the things that I believe before you fill in the blanks? Would that not be frustrating if you were talking about something and you never met me, and I never met you, and I came and tried to plug in these things and do, well, maybe it's this, and maybe it's that, and maybe it's that, without knowing anything about you? But you feel entitled to do so, and I implore you to do so. Again, not angry. I'm just explaining. You are absolutely free to do so. That's why I'm out here. But just think about why you went that direction, and why you wouldn't think that maybe, I'm living a life of degeneracy and I'm happy because I'm doing drugs and having gay sex and whatever else is against the Bible. You could have gone that way, but you didn't go that way. Why? Is it because you are primed? I'm not going to use the word indoctrinated, but it is because you are primed to think that God and Christianity equals good and everything else equals bad. Nick says, I sure relate to what you're saying, brother, and I feel the same way. I feel the same, way closer to being content with life than I ever could have if I denied my feelings and tried to stay Christian. Yep. If you're happy every day, then you're living properly. As I just said, there's a whole bunch of leftist degenerates that are, they think they're happy. Does that count? So if you think you're happy, but you're actually miserable, it doesn't count. So Dionysus, I agree. Buddha says, I'm simply trying to relate to the topic and share my beliefs. I think we are much more powerful than we give ourselves credit. God has given us free will and a spirit to guide us. Prove it. I mean, again, that's a nice thing to think, but what reason do you have to think that? One said, not trying to pick a fight. I'm an atheist too, just trying to understand your perspective. I just assume that if you think God is an asshole, it means your life is some form of punishment. Whereas if you were grateful for God, you would be grateful for your life. But again, you're creating God and life being together, as if there's no way to be happy without a God. That's your a priori dogmatic belief that you must have some understanding of God, even if you are an atheist. So are you saying that you're not grateful for your life because you're an atheist and you don't believe in God? I don't get it. Who said spirit is elusive? It comes and goes and pleases just like the wind. I'm currently learning how to tap into the source. And so if you're just learning to tap into the source and directly be guided by the spirit, how do you know it exists? Couldn't feel the spirit with me, but now as I look back on my life and I see how God was working with me in ways I didn't even understand or see at the time, I gotta go, brother. I'll catch up with you. All right, you have a good one.
If you've lost somebody dear to you, and I'm trampling all over those memories by telling you that they're here now saying this and that. I mean, that's none of my business. And if I'm just doing it because I can earn some money out of it, and when you watch these people at work, so much of it is ego. I mean, some of the mediums at these spiritualists show, especially the ones that aren't so good, they just look like second-rate stage hypnotists that you might see in a pub or in Corfu or something. It's horrendous, and it's that I find really quite ugly.
Michael Shermer, in one of his books, has a story about how I think he was on stage with a medium who was calling up spirits and talking to people about what their dead relatives said. And Shermer unmasked it. He explained on stage about cold reading, told the audience how it was done. And afterwards, several people in the audience came up absolutely furious with him because he had shattered their illusions.
Almost like a lot. And I'm not talking about anybody here where we've all been very respectful to each other. I'm talking in general. It's almost like the people that when I talk about how certain aspects of this faith or that belief or any, I'm trying to speak as generally as possible. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking in general. That when I show that this belief doesn't make sense, you get mad at me because the belief that you believe in doesn't make sense. I didn't make it not make sense. I'm just pointing it out. Why are you mad at me? I didn't tell you this belief. Somebody else did. Be mad at them.
The audience came up absolutely furious with him because he had shattered their illusions. And they seemed... It wasn't because he shattered other people's illusions. It was that he shattered theirs. I mean, somehow it was thought to be cruel when people were deriving comfort and consolation from being deceived in this way. It was...
I don't even necessarily disagree, which is, again, why I don't want to take religion away from anybody. I want to organically have these conversations and let the default understanding that we need a belief in God to live a full life or a happy life or whatever, to just kind of fade away. And if that's what you want to do with your life, again, perfectly fine. There's nothing in the American identity that prevents you from believing in whatever you want. All it does is say that does not belong in politics because there's too many people who don't agree with that, but agree with your politics. And when you mush them together, you push people away and you lose
comfort and consolation from being deceived in this way. It was cruel to break that deception.
It's a question of sensitivity, isn't it? I mean, I think in the bigger picture, it's crueler to be taken in by that deception. It's crueler if you're somebody who is I've known cases of people that have lost a child that's so dear to them and they cannot get over the fact they've lost the child and become addicted to these charlatans, for want of a better word, and that to me is as cruel as it can be. Now, how you handle, I don't see it as a mission to
take it easy, buddy,
turn every believer into a non-believer, but I think it's important to get that message out so people can take it on board and understand it and have more information, because if you have more information, you can make better decisions. But on an individual basis, I think, yes, you have to be terribly sensitive in how you handle that. And I think maybe sometimes in some desperate situations, you decide, well, maybe it's better left. Maybe that person should just have that illusion and live with it. I don't know.
I'm going to go to a seance where a medium will no doubt call up dead relatives of people in the audience and things. And can you give me some tips to what to look out for, what kind of tricks to be aware of? Because I'm naive in this. I'm untrained, and it would be good to have some sort of psychology wisdom to look out for.
I think you'll find it probably disappointingly transparent. I think with spiritualist services, A big difference is that the medium doesn't really have to do any work because he's got a whole room of believers, and that's the difference. If you approach any psychic,
just like a church,
with any sort of skepticism, you'll see through pretty much all of it, unless they happen to get lucky. You know,
I don't know. I don't know how easy this would be to do for anybody. If you are a genuine believer, if you could put yourself in a place of, okay, this Sunday when I go to church, I'm going to be I'm going to act as an atheist. I'm going to be skeptical of everything that they say. I'm going to pretend that I don't believe. I don't know if that is a reasonable thing to ask people to do. I haven't been in that state of mind for a very long time. But if you could, try it. See what happens. See what happens. If you're so confident in your beliefs being right, then pretending that they're false for one day can't do anything bad, right? Shout out to Stephen Colbert Cheese. Welcome to the party. Said, good to see Indian Jesus promoting philosophical and naturalism. There you go. Welcome.
with any sort of skepticism, you'll see through pretty much all of it, unless they happen to get lucky. You know, if you go there as a believer, of course you're going to want to make everything fit. And if you're going to a church service every Tuesday, or I think it's normally Tuesday they do these things on, and you're desperate, maybe this will be the week that the medium will get in touch with Albert or whoever, whoever I've lost. You'll do everything to grab at it. So they don't have to really do a lot of work. And if it's,
and again, the question, the burden is on the believer to say, how do you? I'm approaching this with skepticism, but I'm saying I could be wrong. You're saying, again, general you're saying you are right. You know that you're right, but you can't prove it. Yet I should still believe that you are right. Why? Why is this not a thing? Like, yeah, I don't know. It's just a thing that I believe, and it is what it is. I don't really talk about it because I don't really know it, but it's just a thing that I live my life by. That I really do not get. I really, really don't get it. Nick said many people don't realize that if anyone wants to be wrong, it's me. I said, shit, me too, Bo. Nick goes on to say, my dad died when I was only 2.5 years old, and I would love to get to see him someday. I have my best friend in the world. 2013, my first tattoo ever. Shout out to Akon. Before the singer. To think that he could be, his spirit could be somewhere alive and intact, and that he could be experiencing eternal bliss. That would fill me with so much happiness. But I don't believe it's true. It doesn't make sense. I mean, for no other reason than he probably ain't ended up out there. He probably ended up down there. And so then the other question is like, okay, well, if you go to heaven and there's people, you have family members and friends who are in hell, how can that be paradise? How can that be paradise without the people? Is it just a flood of dope? Like, what is it? What do you again, generally, you guys are so confident that this is real, but you can't say anything about it. No, you're absolutely not. Well, you're not risking eternal damnation, because if it's wrong, then you have nothing to lose. If you're right, then it's not going to do anything. It's not going to do anything because you already know what you believe. And you're going to try to take a skeptical perspective, but it's not going to work because you will be right. It says naturalism actually began with Indians. Not that identity should matter or anything.
How dare you?
I'm watching you, boy. I'm watching you.
Whoever I've lost, you'll do everything to grab at it. So they don't have to really do a lot of work. And if it's something you also have to be aware of, if it's a group that the medium is familiar with, he'll know a lot of their stories already. And a very common thing with TV psychics is that when the cameras are off, they have a chat with people in the audience and find out who would like someone to come. Anybody I should be looking at.
Transparent as that, is it? I mean, they don't even have stooges in the audience to even do it
what
themselves.
they often do is they bring their own clients with them. They say, "Oh, come along to the filming because I think something's really going to come through on that day." pick the ones that cry a lot and bring them along on filming. But very common, before filming starts, they come out, have a chat with the audience, because again, they're all believers. Is there anybody who's you've lost someone who drowned? And okay, well, if anybody comes through that's drowned, I'll know that'll be for you.
Okay.
You know, so much that work is
It's
done.
just so easy, isn't it, when you think about it?
Oh, it's tremendous. When you're then actually doing the when you're there and the thing is happening, the things to listen out for, it varies from medium to medium, and they'll have.
All right, the most common things to look out for. It varies from medium, but they all to medium, but they all have the same kind of shit. Indeed, and let's do that right now. Nick's dad, to Aegon, and to anyone else who is no longer with us. Dilly dilly to you. Gone but not forgotten. Gone but not forgotten.
You're there and the thing is happening. The things to listen out for, it varies from medium to medium, and they'll have their different styles. The best ones just keep talking. They know the value of just really not stopping and just bulldozing over any response from the audience. The worst ones pause too much. They get in too much discussion. They're found out.
I am so
It's
cold.
creating the illusion to the whole room that the medium's hitting one thing after another. Whereas if you really pay attention to what the person's saying, very often you'll just see they look a bit bemused and a bit bewildered. That does tend to happen. Again, depends on the style of the medium. The most common pattern is going to be throwing out a sort of a half statement, that kind of thing of,
have you been not drinking water as much lately?
Have you lost, maybe throwing out a name is the simplest thing. I'm getting the name Albert. Does that mean anything? Can anybody find that for me? Albert, someone over here, or is it the lady over there? Then, and then they...
Yeah, and we're talking about a crowd of people where if you say Albert or John or Jacob or Jingleheimer Smith, then in a crowd of 50 people, the odds are, I think it's only 25 people. It's a very, I don't remember where I heard this, but if somebody can Google this and find this, there's a very small number. I think it's like 25 people, something like that. If you're in a room with 25 people, you are almost guaranteed to be on to be on somebody's birthday. So you're like, I'm sensing somebody's birthday. You're like, oh my god, how did you know? Just the odds of when people are born and all that kind of shit. See what you're doing to me, bro? What did you do as soon as you got here? Shout out to our boy Dietrich. Welcome to the party. His name was my name too.
The person in the audience will supply the information back. Yes, that was my husband. Okay. And then you get the medium will add that information. Now she knows it's the husband, whereas it could have been anything. It could have been the name of the person in the audience, Albert. It could have been a friend of yours in the audience. It could have been someone that died. It could have been anything. But now she knows it's the husband. She then feeds that back, or he feeds that back by saying, that's right, it's your husband here, and he's telling me that, you're a lovely wife, and moves on as if he'd said it was the husband itself, but he hadn't. Yes. And that's a very common pattern all the way through. You get a statement that's made that's vague. I'm seeing something to do with an accident maybe involving water. You go, water? Yes, that's right. When I was young, and he goes, that's right. He's showing me when you were a kid, and he's saying that he was even there. He was there looking after you even when that happened, and you're amazed that he's picked up on this memory. Or you say, yes, that's right. The dead person died because of an accident in water, and then I'll say, yes, that's right. He's telling me that that's how he passed away, that he drowned, and I'll turn whatever you say. So I throw out some words. You give me the meaning, and then I carry on. I reiterate. I feed that back to you as if that's what I intended from the start. That's a very, very common pattern, and not too difficult to spot up on, just to spot. Although it's so quick that you really are left with the impression that the medium has all the information and is giving you, is giving the person in the audience a bit up.
Completely agreed. We should all be forced to take statistics. When you see how, come here, Bubs. When you see how easily people can, people should all be forced to take statistics, just not vaccines. Good one. But yeah, the from the understanding of how easy it is to skew results, to how easy it is to change or word the questions to get a specific response. Like, people just don't know. Like, oh, a study says that most people think this, that, and the other, and then that's it. Like, well, what was their methodology? And you guys know how frustrating it is when you're having like a one-on-one conversation, and the only thing the person source. But when you're sourcing something, you should have a source. Next, as long as they're in our hearts and they are still alive in a sense, that they're still affecting us for the better. Hurts that they aren't here, but they still make our lives better for having them. Indeed. Indeed. Well, doctors are people, aren't they? Doctors, indeed, are simply people. Except Fauci. He's a lizard.
Has all the information and is giving you, is giving the person in the audience bit after bit, and they're not. He's not. He's saying very little and waiting for the feedback and then throwing back. What you'll see is, far from it being all vague or saying things that apply to just everybody, you'll get very specific details being thrown at you. So I'm seeing a pair of cufflinks with a sort of a red jewel or something, something really quite specific, and normally the person doesn't quite make it fit, but then the medium will keep.
They'll be like, well, I have cufflinks with an orange. I'm like, yes, that's what I was getting on.
Upon pushing and start to turn into something else. So it's definitely some jewelry. He's definitely showing me jewelry. And then, of course, they're going to make jewelry fit. Well, yes, it was, I've got some jewelry at home. That's right. He's saying, have a look in your jewelry box because it's something there you've forgotten. And the red cufflinks have been forgotten. So keeping track of, well, what was the medium pushing for at the beginning? One thing I saw was there's a dog. He's saying something to do with his dog that used to sleep in the hallway. And the answer sort of came back, sort of, no. Well, it's something in the hallway. A picture of a dog. Is a picture of a dog in the hallway? And the answer came back, no. I mean, I've just put up another picture. I've put up a picture in the hallway of the family or something. That's it. He's saying he doesn't like the picture in the hallway. You want to, the dog was forgotten. But actually started off talking about.
Whoa. That might be more interesting. I'm gonna see if I can find something on like actually breaking down what the cold reading actually is. Because I kind of think we get the point here. Again, this is about, I was watching this on 2.4 speed, so they got to a bunch of stuff. And again, I think it is a very interesting conversation, but they're kind of treading over the same thing. So, I'm gonna do some more.
Yes. And purely because of what the audience member said, now it's about a picture in the hallway. It's become something completely different. But it looks like the medium is just sort of fumbling.
Yes.
Whereas in fact, he's gauging everything on what the person's giving.
I suppose the other thing, I imagine some people listening will be saying to themselves, oh, yes, well, I see that. But on the other hand, I was told a story by somebody who was told a story where the medium really did.
Okay, everybody, we have, okay, so we have a 6-year-old. I'm going to leave this up to you guys. But you're not going to know. So I'm going to ask for a 1 or a 2 in the chat. We have number 1, 6 years old from Holy Kool-Aid. Or number 2, we have a 5-year-old video from Shaman Oaks, specifically about John Edwards. That's 2. So 1 is a 6-year-old video from Holly Kool-Aid that's just kind of more general. And 2 is 5 years ago from Shaman Oaks from 5 years ago. Put a 1 or a 2. Which one do you want to see? Yeah, Steven said, nobody's heard of Thomas Bayes, the Bayesian philosophy, right? I met James Randi once in Buffalo. Shorter than 5 feet. Let's go. Short Kings in a building. All right, we got a 2. Let's see who else. And we got another 2. Let's do it. Debunking. So these were the options. And I mean, we can do both. It's not like you can't do both, but Debunking.
Shaman Oaks, exploring the rabbit hole.
And of course, we always hit the like button when we watch a video because we are nice. Oh, well, we always hit the like button when we watch a video because we're nice people. 1 like equals 1 pet for Morty. Yeah, again, if you didn't hear me say this before, if you have Netflix, he has 2 special things. They're not like, it's not like comedy specials or magic specials on stage. It's like a super well produced thing. If you have Netflix, watch. There's one Derren Brown Push, and then there's another one, and they are both nail biters. They are amazing. And whether you believe in psychics or this or that or the or anything else, it doesn't really matter because it just has to do with the power of suggestion and little steps and like. They make. I don't want to spoil anything. Should I spoil anything? Let's just say Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Yeah, I hear you. That's why I'm like, I was like, wasn't James Randi the guy that debunked physics because he was trained as a magician? I don't think so. James Randi, not Franco. Randi debunks physics? Physics or psychics? Psychics. That says psychics. Okay. P-S-Y. Okay. I was thinking, yeah, this guy. So we'll come to that next. All right. So we'll start with John Edwards, and then we'll move over to James Randi. But that's what I was thinking. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was reading that wrong. All right. So we're gonna explore the rabbit hole. Shout out to Zippy.
Hey guys, so today I want to talk about cold reading. A lot of people accuse psychic mediums of being cold readers, and it's just not the case.
Oh, he's gonna defend it! He's gonna defend it! No way!
I'm sure it's the case with some mediums, because there's phonies and bad actors in every profession, but the legit real psychic mediums don't use cold reading at all. All I ask is that you have an open mind.
Okay.
A lot of people think they have an open mind, and they really don't. They already have an agenda. They already go, I want to prove that it's real. I want to prove that it's fake.
No, I definitely have, I don't know if I would call it an agenda. I think my agenda is to find the truth. I do definitely have a bias that I think this is completely fake. But just like with God, every single day, my mind is open. So please convince me. Oh man, please convince me.
And if you go in with that mentality, you're always going to end up with what you want to find. Just step back and say, you know what? I'm just going to hold off judgment, watch the evidence, and then see what I think in the end. Save your judgment till the end. This is all going to be about like a John Edward clip that I'm going to show from his show Crossing Over. I'm not sure if you're aware of that show, but it used to be on around, I think, 2001 to 2004. It was on national television. So in this clip we're about to watch, he keeps telling them no. He tells them no over and over again, saying, that's not what I'm getting. It's not what I'm getting.
So you never tell someone no if you're cold reading them, nor would you be this insistent that the recipient is wrong.
And he even causes...
It's not that he's just better and has a bigger aura that he can influence people. It's that he's just not cold reading at all. He can really read
them to be frustrated. But that's what I love about John Edward the most, is if he hears something or sees something in his mind and he knows that he's right, or if it's not feeling right to him, he says no. He sticks with the evidence no matter what. And if you watch my other videos about what psychic mediums hear and what psychic mediums see,
what are we counting as evidence right now? I'm trying to stay open. What are we counting? What evidence? People saying things of their own life that they already know? Okay, fair. If that's what we're calling evidence, okay, that's evidence. So he sticks with the evidence that you know your own life. He sticks with the fact that you know your own life.
And if you watch my other videos about what psychic mediums hear and what psychic mediums see, this will kind of make sense. Where he's getting quick glimpses, flashes of images, or he's hearing stuff, but he's not getting the exact thing. For psychic mediums to actually do their job, they usually have to have something in their mind for the spirit world to reference. So like say, for example, if your grandmother loved to bake apple pies, but...
Shout out to... Damn it. I had it in my head. What's the fucking movie? Shout out to American Pie. God damn it. That would have been funny as hell if I just...
So like say, for example, if your grandmother loved to bake apple pies, but the psychic medium had never heard of apple pie before. So what they...
The psychic medium had never heard of apple pie before. What? Okay. All right. We're keeping our minds open, guys.
But the psychic medium had never heard of apple pie before. So what they might get is a flash of pastry and then a bunch of fruits flashing in their mind. And they're going to get this feeling that the two are connected. So they're going to be like, I think there's some sort of like pastry that's fruit involved. And that has to get the other person to say, oh, that's an apple pie. But if they've never seen an apple pie, they've never heard of an apple pie, they're not going to be able to say apple pie.
Okay, again, it's a hypothetical. Fair enough. But like, okay, fair. I mean, I'm with it.
If that makes sense. Or they might see a pastry and an apple if they've seen those two things. And then the spirit world will try to connect it for them. But it's a game of spiritual charades. That's what I
said, shit, me too.
I tell people. And once you understand that, readings make a lot more sense. So I'm going to link both of these original videos in the description. If you could, I'd suggest watching both of them from beginning to end.
They're telling me to tease you that they used to call you like meatball, or that they called you like the cookie.
Oh, yeah, because who would guess Who could possibly guess that this guy would have a nickname based on his weight? Come on, bro. Comment of the night. Comment of the night goes to Stephen Colbert. Jeez. Either get it, you don't. You either get it or you don't. Brilliant. Brilliant. Love it. Love it.
They're telling me to tease you that they used to call you like meatball, or that they called you like the cookie, or you were known as the pineapple, or they called you a food?
They called you a food. And again, this is a purely open-minded inquiry. What are we using as evidence, and for what?
I thought for sure you were going to get that.
That's your face.
No, that's my face, right?
No, this was a common thing. No, this is like
so if what the guy in the earlier part of the video was saying is that, oh, he sticks with it. If he goes to somebody else, then he's not sticking with it. Can you imagine a psychic who could barely speak English trying to reach you? No, I'm a good psychic. I just can't translate. Oh, that would be the grift of all grifts. I'm headed down to Mexico. I'm going to head to the border. You ain't even got to go into Mexico. They're coming right in. And you're like, senor, psychic reading. Like, I'm getting it, but I don't know how to say it in Spanish. That'll be $5,000.
The little kid was known as this, and it stuck as he was.
He's gonna move on.
Somebody in the family was given a food name, and it stuck.
That's who you're talking about. You're talking about Chicky. That was his name.
So that was somebody else.
That was his nickname.
Chicken.
So again, the notion that, oh, he sticks to the no, that means he actually knows something. No. He knows that because this person is not used to being on TV and already believes in the thing and is being put on the spot and has the microphone, that if they keep pushing, well, let me find something to put in there. Why is that not the more reasonable assumption? The claim was that he was called meatball or pineapple or some type of food, and that turned into no, it was somebody else completely that I know. And this is, which part of that is evidence that he said no and he kept pushing and the dude filled in the evidence? And he said, I was working on a local television show and Jonathan Edwards came in for a segment. Interesting con man. Apparently, you don't get it, bro. You don't get it, all right? When you understand that it's not cold reading, then you can see it better. You just don't get it. You just don't get it. First day is just still warm enough. Shorts and a t-shirt. Well, it's only gonna get worse.
This is his name. That was his nickname.
Wait, Chicky is not even a food. What are we talking about?
Chicken.
Oh, chicken. I'm like,
Chicken
what the hell's a
Little.
Chicky?
Remember the commercial from Hometown, Chicken Livers?
I don't think you're old enough for that.
Yep, got it. Spot on, bro. Spot on, bro. Your name was Meatball. No, somebody else I know was named Chicky, kind of like chicken. What? Come on. God damn it, Grandma.
Tom, Chicken Livers?
I don't think you're old enough for that, John.
No, I'm just sitting there trying to think. I'm standing here trying to figure out, like, okay, what's Chicky?
His nickname.
His nickname was Chicky. His name was Thomas.
Yeah, so that's not anything that was brought up. You brought that up. That has nothing to do with what was in John Edwards' mind or mind's eye or whatever the hell you want to call it. But again, keeping an open mind and continuing. Because if he says no here, and because my prediction that was that somebody else was gonna be like, no, that's me. So okay, I was wrong. I'm willing to be wrong. Maybe I'm gonna learn something.
Yeah, I don't know if that's it.
Okay. Thank God.
I don't think that's it. I don't think that's it. I think it's another food. Like somebody was known as, like, Lemonhead.
Somebody. So I was right. He's gonna move on. That guy is a meatball. That's what I was like, bro. That ain't like, come on. You look at a fat guy and be like, hey, somebody named you after food. Brilliant. Nick said, who didn't get called honey at some point in their life? We all get called a food. Exactly. I get called shrimp. Like, shout out to Harry Mack. Maybe you guys have seen him. Maybe not. A white dude who, goes on Omegle and he's like, yo, give me 3 words. I'm going to do a freestyle for you. And he fucking spits bars and whatever. What does he always say? No food and no animals. Because those are the most common things. That's so multiple, like Derren was saying before, multiple people in the audience are in on the con, and the ones that are not are willing to believe. They want to believe. They are searching for a reason to say, yes, see, I knew it. I knew that John Edwards had something special. But maybe not. Maybe we're all wrong. We're keeping an open mind, guys. We're keeping an open mind. Maybe we're wrong. Again, my prediction was that he's going to move on to somebody else, and I was wrong. So we're keeping an open mind.
I think it's another food. Like somebody was known as like, lemon head, or somebody was known as like eggplant, or...
And again, notice how it's never John that says the thing. It's always the other person that fills in the exact thing, which is fair to say that, like, I don't know the exact thing. But if you can just... that's what cold reading is. It's just throwing out things until somebody says, yes, that's me. And so the only... Yeah, shout out to the Eerie Fairy Tales. Yes, his freestyles are dope. Dope. I love it when he does it in public because he always gets a big crowd. Like on Omegle, everybody's, people are cool with it, but it's just a one-on-one. When he does it in public, that's what's up. Anyway, so next time I'm trying to impress the ladies, I'll be like, did somebody used to call you baby or babe? I'm getting a babe feeling. That's precisely and exactly what this man is doing right now. Or maybe not. Maybe we're wrong. Keeping an open mind.
Somebody's known as pineapple, or... Are you sure somebody wasn't known as like egghead or lemon head?
So now we've gone from meatball to egghead, which is... Egghead is not a food, by the way. Eggs are food, but an egghead just means a smart person or like a nerdy... So just so that we're all on the same page. We've gone from meatball to egghead.
Are you sure somebody wasn't known as like egghead or lemon head? I think this is a head reference. Like cheesehead.
That's what she said.
Pothead? Pothead?
There is no fucking way he's gonna... There's no way that's it. Call pothead. There's no way. There's no way. Is he a fruit head or a meathead? I don't know.
Is that suitable for television?
Cut that, please.
No, that we'll leave it in. No, it's not pothead.
I will be extremely honest. I have no idea where this is going. And clearly the dude the other dude watched this clip and whatever clip is after this before he made this video. So I am keeping... Oh, Morty, god damn! Holy shit! Woo! Holy dog fart, bro. Damn. Sorry. I just lost... I might be like little dog. Anyway. Head cheese, corn head, Thomas like the English Muppets. No more peanut butter for sure. For sure. Look at this thing. He's emptied it out. So what happens is, it'll be like, it'll have the things. Those of you who weren't here, shout out to our boy, the Bunkmaster General, and everybody else who helped that stream get to a $50 whatever the fuck you want to call it. So I used the peanut butter like a normal person, but once it gets to like that level, I'm not like scraping little pieces. I could just go, I got another bottle. And so it'll be like up to here with like the bullshit on the side. And then you can see how far he can stick his head in there and lick, but there's still a solid layer. And what I'll do is take one of his bones and I'll just scrape it along the edge so he can reach it. But that's a long-term deal. Like chippy without the additives. There you go. There you go. All right, let's dive back in here. So no, it's not pothead.
Okay, let's back up. Maybe this is gonna help you. Did you ever see the episode of Everybody Loves...
So the guy says, so the spirit world gives him something very specific to point him to the person with the food nickname.
When did I tell you? A long time ago. And what did I say will happen when I told you? Exactly what just happened.
So he's going to move on.
Raymond, where Ray accidentally tapes over his wedding video for the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Oh, honey! I can't do that. If I hear it. Wait. Let's see if I can get a... Because this is a detour, but I don't care. Everybody loves Raymond.
might be.
He's not in this one. Why would this be the top result if he's not in it? Okay.
Exactly. Now give it back to her.
Exactly. No. Okay. All right. I tried. I tried and failed. Buckmaster General said John Edwards might have a collectible coin. That's something special. I mean, not everybody gets a collectible coin unless you make one. All right.
Ray accidentally tapes over his wedding video for the Super Bowl. What is the reference to taping over something of importance?
Our brother just
That's my wedding.
did that. A brother who's still here just taped over our children's tapes growing up.
Wow! Oh my God! He got from Meathead to my brother taped over our children's tapes growing up. Brilliant! And the whole crowd. Wow! We started at somebody called you meatball.
Taping over something of importance.
Our brother just did that. A brother who's still here just taped over our children's tapes growing up.
And notice he offered the information, a brother who's still here. So I'm just gonna throw it out there. That's probably gonna come up.
Okay.
Whoa.
That person that did that, is there a nickname for him besides what you might want to call him now? Like, did he have a food nickname growing up?
Okay, remember this part for the end, says Shaman Oaks.
Did that person give your brother a food nickname? Somebody known by a food nickname, like egghead, cheesehead, something would be edible.
Wait. We went from meatball to egghead. Those are not the same thing, but we'll keep it in mind and we'll give it to him.
Or food related that somebody's nickname goes by.
I mean, I know his nickname came somewhat from food.
And that would be?
His nickname was Chick.
Gotcha. I was right, see?
It was Chicky, yeah. We called him Chicky.
You know, it's not hitting me. Oh. As much as like you're validating that, and I could be completely wrong, and I have no problem saying that because you know your family better than I do. It's not hitting me like that.
I'm gonna be honest. My mind is a lot more open than it was when we started this, because I do not know where this is going. Steven said, beware. Some peanut butter brands contain an ingredient called xylitol, which is toxic to dogs, and even eating small amounts can be fatal. Well, shout out to Skippy, because he's been eating it in ungodly amounts for the last 15 years, and he's doing A-okay. As stinky as he may be. Yep, yeah. I mean, you know, he's grown up in you know, he's eaten entire chocolate bars, and by accident, obviously. He's eaten pieces of like almost a half a bar of shroom chocolate, and he made it. He's tough. I appreciate it, but what, you want to come up here with your toy? Come. There you go. Look at that. Sitting with Daddy, eating your peanut butter. All right there. There you go. All right. Next, and he launched a chemical attack on you. Yo, that's against the Geneva Convention. He's a war criminal. That's all right. I will cover him till his dying day. Any film said, I'm seeing a person close to you, maybe a teenager, and their phone screen has all kinds of cracks on it. Chickpea? What? I don't understand the question. Dogs and more.
You're validating that, and I could be completely wrong. And I have no problem saying that because you know your family.
So they did actually verify the chick. No, not Chicky. Not chickpea. Chicky, as in something that was related to chicken. At this time. So, well, I mean, if we're gonna be fair, number one, they're not supposed to eat poop either. But there's not the same, like they just shit out, you know, their own waste. Like, I mean, what's that dude on TikTok that drinks his own goddamn urine? And not ideal, but you ain't gonna die.
As much as like you're validating that, and I could be completely wrong. I have no problem saying that because you know your family better than I do. It's not hitting me. Like that's it. Like I feel like there might be something else.
Maybe you're not a psychic, bro. Maybe that's it.
Guys, I'm sorry to be like repeating myself for the 4,000th time here. But somebody's known by a freaking food nickname.
I will give him credit. I'm like, okay, if you're doing just pure cold reading, especially at a base level, then you're not going to keep going back to something that gotta know. fair. But number one, if you are the top guy, then you have a lot more leeway to be like, guys, I think in the same way that we went from Meatball to what was the friend's name? I don't even remember. Whatever. But we went from all the way over here to all the way over here. Yeah, right. I mean, I don't know how much he liked it, but he got into it. Like it was stuffed in the drawer, and he found it. He found it. So no more keeping shroom chocolate in my room. Yeah, hundreds of episodes over and over and over, and a huge crowd the whole time. So the other thing is, we don't know how much footage there is of him failing and just never making the airwaves. This was never live on YouTube or Twitch or anything. This is all on network TV. So, and he films this is information that he obviously picked up before the show from somebody about these people, and he's very frustrated because they are not registering. Here's the other thing. Why did they not hit on the chickie thing if they're both saying that? I don't know. I'm right there with you. I'm on the edge of my seat. I don't know. So, whatever, this dude over, or where is he? That dude has something. He has a point to prove. And I'm not convinced, but he's got me on the hook. I'm thinking maybe he's pulling the Uno reverse and playing on their uncertainty. He knew somebody would find him more credible by continuing without his wrong reading. And that's exactly what I meant when it's like, oh, you're on TV. Now you're not even in the crowd. You're on stage and everybody's looking at you. You sure? You sure there's no food names? You sure? You're sure? You're sure? You're sure? People are uncomfortable in those situations. You've seen the experiments where people will walk into a doctor's office and, it'll be full and everybody's an actor except one person, right? And so they go in, and then every 30 seconds or whatever, they ring a bell. And when they ring the bell, everybody stands up and sits right back down and goes right back to what they're doing. And the person who's not an actor is like, what the hell? And over, 2 or 3, 4, 5 times, and then the person's just going along to get along. Then so now you have one participant and 4 actors, 5 people. Then they will switch out each actor for a real participant until you have 5 participants who are not actors, who have no idea what that means, but still stand up. This also is demonstrated in the experiment that I think Tim Pool talks about all the time with the monkeys, and there's a banana, there's 5 monkeys, and there's a banana hanging, and there's a ladder. If one of the monkeys climbs up the ladder, then they spray all of the monkeys with cold water. So then when, after that happens the first time or a couple times, then when a monkey goes to go up to climb the ladder, then all the other monkeys beat up that monkey because they don't want to get sprayed. Same exact thing. They switch out all the monkeys until you have an entire group of monkeys who has never seen a monkey get sprayed with water, has no idea what is going on, but will still beat up a monkey for climbing up the ladder. That's what Gomtech is talking about. That's what's happening right here, in my humble opinion. Yeah, listen, I know I'm right. You know I'm right. Just confirm I'm right and we can move on. Maybe. I think so. But we are keeping an open mind. Maybe he really does know something that he could not know. Let's see.
Freaking food nickname. He's talking about the connection to the...
So again, the spirit world gives him something very specific to point him to the person with the food nickname. Am I still in the running? Am I still in the running? It was never about Meatball over here, and it was somebody else? Well, I'm just telling you right now, I am going to be so arrogant. I'm going to be so arrogant if he picks somebody else that has the food nickname. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to be a dick about it.
He's talking about the connection to the school behind your house.
Uh-huh.
It's like of that time period.
Yes, the school behind your house.
Across the street from the house.
That's where he committed suicide.
That's
himself.
Okay.
Yes.
That area is what he's talking about. That's the area. That's the time period. This is the same school, and
Why did everybody laugh at that? That was weird. They're talking about some dude who self-deleted. Maybe there was a cut? That was weird. Y'all heard that?
That area is what he's talking about. That's the area. That's the time period. This is the same school, and I have no idea what this is. Is there like a...
Again, something very specific to point him to the person with the food nickname.
A ritual, like we would all go and pee on the same wall?
The handball court, yeah.
There's like steps to go down to get into the school?
Oh, yeah, because there's like steps at the school? Put a 1 in the chat if there's steps at your high school.
No, but that's where you went down to pee.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
All right, this is
Oh my god, what? Oh my god, what?
the same time period where there's somebody who has the freaking food name.
It's gotta be Georgie.
It's got to be somebody that you're connected
Georgie
to.
Porgy Pudding Pie.
Who's that?
That's his little brother.
Is that what
Pudding Pie.
they used to call him that?
Georgie Porgy Pudding Pie.
Yeah, I found it.
Well, all of us have had stairs at our school, and he didn't even know. He didn't even know what he was talking about, and so he made it fit. Oh, somebody with a food name.
Come on, man.
Steven said the subs are more wrong than the right. Oh, the subs are more wrong than right. The subs? The subs. So, what are the subs? I'm having a brain fart. And he found too. There was like stairs at your school. Like, yeah, bro, I knew it. But all right, let's finish up.
That's gotta be it.
If that's the case, which is the brother or who's the person that they used to think could fly?
Oh, the subs are more wrong than right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Agreed.
That flied?
Who like thought they could fly?
I think it has to do with the quality of the audio, but you know.
Oh, when he was doing what he was doing, he always said he could fly, yeah.
No, I mean as a kid, like there should be like
Georgie plays
there should be like a exactly. There should be like a K picture.
I think yes, there is a K picture.
You guys are a family of 7?
6 and 7.
They count me as one. I've been around so long.
No, they're counting you as a
I know
family of
it
7.
was a joke.
They're saying it's a family of 7. Well, isn't somebody Thomas Michael?
Oh my God.
So you're talking about?
He's Thomas Michael?
But so is my nephew.
Oh, right.
He's
My godson is Thomas
He
Michael.
wants me to acknowledge Thomas Michael.
Oh my God. This is Margaret, you hear that?
You didn't have to put your name on anything to go to this show. You just showed up. And they had no idea. I mean, I get it's the 90s. But you just showed up and nobody knew your name. Okay. I'm right here. If you want me to do something, you'd be like, hey, Butch, can you turn off the subs?
Yes, I do.
Yes, that's our godson. That's his nephew.
Did you ever see the episode of Everybody Loves Raymond where Ray accidentally tapes over his wedding video for the Super Bowl?
Okay, so this was the part that we were supposed to remember for the end.
Everybody Loves Raymond where Ray accidentally tapes over his wedding video for the Super Bowl.
We thought it was a blank tape, and we were taping I think it was either the VMAs, it was a music award. And
Put a 1 in the chat if you know somebody who's recorded over a wedding VHS. It's like, come on, bro. It's like, come on. You have to so badly want this. And I don't blame people, but if you really want this understanding, then stop trying to take fucking shortcuts into people who decide that they know things that they cannot know. I don't know what to do. Influence they had plants in line before the show, engaging in conversation and getting information, listening to other people's conversations. Yeah, I'm sure this guy's name never came up. Right? Yeah. I mean, all of us. It's not that crazy. You've proved nothing except that, like, would you, if this was a TV show, like a produced TV show, would it be any different? And would it prove anything if it was exactly the same? Think about that for a second.
he said, "Oh, who cares? It's just a tape. It was only us growing up."
You're kidding.
Yeah, that was the tape.
That's unbelievable that you guys let me believe Uncle George.
This is why they couldn't think of the food nickname at the time. They thought someone else did it.
What?
Did what?
You did that all this time.
What?
That was the tape.
That's unbelievable that you guys let me believe Uncle George did that all this time.
Exactly. What have you been doing with this all this time? Your brother did. Yeah, but don't tell him I told you.
Like, did he have a food nickname growing up?
What I think the food thing was when I mentioned Georgie Porgy Pudding and Pie. And that's where the food thing came in with Georgie.
Well, then why didn't you think of that when they said that? When he first said that? I don't get it.
Because we used to sing that to him when he was little. Georgie Porgy Pudding and Pie, kiss the girls.
I'm with Guantek. Like, how do you forget? What did he say? His brother's nickname? His brother's nickname, and asked about a food nickname, and he couldn't remember after asking all of those times. Get the fuck out of here! Get the fuck out of here! Shout out to Zoranthus. Welcome to the party. Yeah, we're hopefully gonna get there. So the amazing Randy exposed a lot of these guys. One dude had his wife feeding him info through an earpiece. It's like I'm the bad guy. It's like I'm the bad guy for pointing this shit out. So, all right, that was bullshit. Let's go to our guy, James Randi, debunking the paranormal. Welcome to the party. What is it? Zoranthus. Welcome.
Worked as a magician under the name The Amazing Randy, but the world knows him for what he's achieved off stage. He's spent decades challenging people who claim they have mysterious powers. 50 years ago, James Randi offered a reward to anyone who could offer proof.
It was like 10,000, right?
Of the paranormal, increasing the offer to $1 million. No one.
$1 million. One thing that I love when the Amazing Randy exposed the guy that could blow the page with his G. Wasn't it like a string that he was using or something? I mean, like, why? And I mean, of course, this is the backdrop, the inspiration, maybe is a better word for Penn and Teller's bullshit.
Has claimed it. He led a chorus of skeptics against Uri Geller, the man who claimed he could bend spoons. And because of that, Don Lane had this famous dummy spit.
We're going for a commercial break, and you can
You mad, bro? You mad?
This year, James Randi turned 86, and his life and career have been celebrated in the documentary An Honest Liar.
No matter how smart or well-educated you are, you can be deceived.
Yup.
And James Randi joins us now live from Fort Lauderdale in the United States. James, welcome to Studio 10. Thank you for being with us. You are trained as a magician. Do you feel perhaps you're giving away secrets and maybe ruining the fun for everyone out there by challenging the paranormal?
Oh, the fun of lying to people about their dead ancestors. The fun.
Oh, I don't give away secrets. No, it's not secrets of the magic trade. That is the conjuring trade, because we conjurers are very honest. We say, we're fakes, we're going to fool you, and we do it. And we do it for purposes of entertainment, but not to take people's money under false pretenses, of course.
And James, can you tell us some of the common tricks that psychics use to convince people that they have supernatural powers, be it communing with the dead or be it the old spoon bending trick? What do they do? How do they trick people?
Well, it's all psychological misdirection, of course. When they say that they're talking to the dead, usually the line, and you've heard it so many times, I'm sure, the line is something like, I'm getting an M or an R. Now, what does that mean, I'm getting an M or an R? Because that could be Massachusetts, it could be Randy, for all they know. But they throw things out like this into the audience as suggestions, and somebody will hold up their hand and say, yes, and they say, my mother's name was whatever. You know, and they try to get them to identify with these things, and then they start what they call cold reading. Well, they don't call it cold reading, but we do. It's a process of extracting information from people and getting them to go along with you in the discussion. And they're very subtle at it. Some of them are very good at it. Some of them are not all that great, but they still make a lot of money.
So it's asking those leading questions.
Money,
James, what about
money.
the spoon bending trick? Because that was, I believe...
Uri Geller's big trick.
Yeah, I think that...
Fake spoon.
You can show us, can't you?
Yeah, I think that's one of Geller's only 4 tricks. He only has 4 tricks in his entire repertoire. Well, any singer who only has 4 songs that he or she sings would be doomed.
Yeah, it came from this thing on Netflix. I don't know if I could play the exact thing, but I got that queued up.
Failure. But Geller's done very well on simple 4 tricks.
Can you show us how it's
and
done?
The spoon bending trick, yes, it's done very carefully. Wink, wink. No, it's a case. If I told you the secret of it is,
I'd have to kill you.
Quite honest now. The secret of it is you do it when nobody's looking.
Okay, so you have a spoon with you at the moment,
Now there's
don't
the
you?
spoon breaking trick. Yes, I do. This was obtained from the kitchen here at this little station that I'm at out of the country here with a big dish behind it. And this is a, wait a minute. That's the testing board. And it's a pretty solid spoon. Would you like to see a demonstration?
Please, yes.
All right. I have a young man here who's you're a volunteer, am I correct? Okay. Would you hold on to each end of the spoon? That's it. And hold it maybe a little. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay.
Okay, so I'm going on what Guamtek is saying, that if we're expecting it to bend right here, then we'd expect the body heat, the hand, to be here. So, okay, let's see.
Now, I'm just going to massage it very gently here, all right? I'll hold it firmly. Put your elbow down on the table, perhaps. There you get.
And look where his hand is. Shout out to Guamtek.
Better grip on it. Now, I'm just going to, well, first of all, let go of it for a second. I want to, you can't see me hammering it on the table, but I am doing that, okay?
Well, I mean, all spoons are already bent. Like, none of them are straight, but, you know.
Okay, hold it again, please, and hold it up. There we go. Now, I'm just going to stroke it gently like this, and I'm going to wiggle it back and forth, okay? Just wiggle it back and forth like that. Now, it's doesn't seem to be doing much, but watch carefully now. Watch carefully. Oh, look! It's actually getting it's getting flexible. Look at that. It actually gets flexible. It sort of turns rubbery. Isn't that the strangest thing? Look. Oh, look.
So how are you doing that?
Magic!
Wait, look, it's getting completely flexible. Doing it very well, I think. It flies into two pieces.
Wow.
A miracle of a semi-religious nature.
How do you do that?
Yeah.
Now, this is...
All right, how much time we got? Okay, we got 3 minutes. Let's see if he's going to explain it in full.
This is a rather simple trick that kids can do, too. I can teach any kid to do this inside of, half an hour or so. It's not all that difficult to do. But Mr. Geller has built his whole career on a simple trick like bending spoons. What the advantage is in bending a spoon, you can't use it then. You see, the food all falls in your lap. So it's very awkward. I don't know how he ever came up with such a silly trick, but he did, and he's done very well with it over the years, I must admit.
So, James, clearly that is a trick, and you've sort of debunked that sort of some sort of spiritual power that make people bend spoons. Do you believe that there are mediums out there, though, genuine people who have an ability to connect with the other side? I mean, there are plenty of people who believe in that. Do you believe in a higher power?
The tiniest bit of...
No, I don't. And the reason is that I'm 86 years of age. I've been in this since I was about 12 or 13 years of age. And in all that time, I have been searching for something like that. As a matter of fact...
I said, shit, me too.
The James Randi Educational Foundation, which I represent, offers a $1 million, that's U.S., $1 million prize to any so-called psychic or sensitive of any kind who can actually prove that they have these powers. Now that
right. So we know this. So okay, check this out. So we are going to try to do this. Oh, there's no captions. God damn it. We're gonna try to do this without copyright. So this is again a Netflix special. Justin Willman, Magic for Humans. So you can see the setup. He's just
of evidence will make us believe the unbelievable.
Believe the unbelievable. Just setting shit up. And wrong screen. He's setting stuff up and he's finding people and they're, doing what they're doing. Let's see.
Dude, that he recruit some help, and then I told them my plan. You guys are gonna help me convince a dude that he's invisible.
So he's first gathered a crowd, and they are in on the trick. Y'all, the crowd, are going to help me convince this guy that he is invincible. Once again, so we got like.
You'll take a picture like this, kind of be right here. And Katie, you'll take a picture like this. Nice.
So
you're gonna do something really important. No matter what the person does, this audience is gonna pretend they cannot see them.
Okay. So then this guy gets picked as the volunteer.
First, I had to convince him that invisibility was real.
So again, he showed up later. And again, I'm doing my best to break this up because it's Netflix and they will absolutely claim this. They probably still will, but it's funny enough that you believe in magic in a young girl's heart. Of course. You ever get them guts? It ain't nothing but love.
You guys familiar with the concept of invisibility? Yeah. The water, visible, yes?
So again, the black guy in the gray shirt is the the victim, so to speak, and everybody else is in on it. So, you know, doing some stuff.
We can see it.
Let's do, you know, he's doing, oh, you know, it's water, whatever, and then he's gonna, you know, pour it out, and oh my God, it's invisible. What happened? Da 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 da. So then he's like, all right, let me ask for a volunteer, and okay, let's see.
Blanket.
I'm gonna put a blanket over you.
You guys ready to do this?
Let's go. Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Mike, sit up straight. I'm gonna cover you up. Here we go. Don't move. Let's make him invisible on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Before we do that, let's shout out our boy, the Funk Master General, with another $10 super chat. My dude, thank you so very, very much. Out sponsoring yourself once again. Very, very, very much appreciated, and give me the opportunity to break this up. So let's dive back in. Thank you so very much, sir.
And Jonathan is now a believer.
So again, that was all a setup. So, and I mean, look at his face. He's like, hey. So now, you know, he does the same thing. And okay, so we're gonna do the same thing. And he's like, all right, you ready? It's your turn. Put the blanket over you. Zippity zoo, zippity za, zippity zippity boo boo boo. And now, let's do
invisible on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. They did not vanish. You cannot see them or hear them. Let me show you what I mean here. With your right hand, I want you to grab this.
So it's brilliant because he has another person there. But let's again, I can't, can't do too much. So while he's doing with the other dude,
this will just take 1 minute. I'll bring. It's an emergency. Hey, it's Justin. I'm sorry.
Ready?
Yeah.
so that's what we were talking about before. Like, oh, so they took the picture already. That's what they were doing before. They took this picture already. And then, I think we can meet this part. So they took this picture already, and he's like, and then they show this to him. And so she is showing it to her, like, oh my God. And he's like, wait, I'm in the picture. What?
Freaking didn't know it's that one. It's so cool.
It must be a trick floor.
Jonathan was not the only one who stumbled into my little experiment. Meet Brandon. Grab the can for me.
No, I'm right here.
Grab the can. There we go. Perfect. There we go.
And so they're pretending that they're seeing a floating can.
Stargate?
Yeah, kind of like a Stargate thing. I mean... Yeah. Hello? Cannot anyone hear me? What the? Hi.
Shout out to our boy Guam Tech feeding us up in this household with a $5 Venmo. Said YouTube, if you not taking none of our money. Thank you. So very, very much, sir. Very, very much appreciated. Let's go. So I mean, that's pretty much, you know, the invisible trip. But again, the point here is that it's so easy. It's so easy to convince people that that they can believe something that's unbelievable if certain things are in place. And the fact of the matter is that we're at a place in human history where, like, we've advanced beyond where our evolution has brought us, and it's scary because we're not prepared to be at this place. We need to be way more evolved to have this level of technology and just the workings of the universe and all of that shit. Like, yeah, it takes a lot of work, but you get it done. Get her done. I mean, true. But yeah, that is an interesting one. So what I want to do is see what was this original video that was actually supposed to expose the methods here. Shout out to Holy Kool-Aid hitting that like button as we always do on any video that we watch, because why wouldn't you? It's free, it's easy, and it helps out the channel so much. I did not just hit the microphone.
The universe is knowable. One need not appeal to mystical, magical forces to account for things.
In my last video, I talked about hot reading techniques that psychics use to research their victims ahead of time. But what about when they have to read a live audience or read a stranger on the spot? For that, they usually resort to cold reading tactics. If you're unfamiliar with their tricks, it may seem impressive, but if you know what to look for, then
So it says cold reading, a set of techniques used on someone without prior research by psychics, palm and tarot card readers, mentalists, fortune tellers, and mediums to pretend that they have more information about that person than they actually do.
Psychic hustle will smell fishier than a rotten tuna. Now, there's a lot more to cold reading than I could possibly cover in just one video, so make sure that you subscribe and keep an eye out for part 2. The most obvious aspect of cold reading is shotgunning, where you shotgun out a question into the audience and hope that it sticks with someone somewhere.
Who had the issue with the brain? Aneurysm, brain tumor, Alzheimer, or dementia?
But for those, some people watching this will say, and I'm a skeptic, will say, look, you're, in a room of 250 people, whatever, somebody will certainly have had Alzheimer's.
Obviously.
The details that spirit gives is what is mind-blowing.
Such as?
It is not common that someone would lay someone to rest in a fuchsia dress.
But did she really get...
I feel like that's not even true.
Get a fuchsia dress?
Who was buried in a red dress? Or someone was viewed, because they had me stand at a casket and I saw someone viewed and they said, can you believe that this is how I was laid to rest?
Notice how
now it's red.
She started specific with a red dress, then went more.
Just like we went from, your name was Meatball. And somebody, somebody somewhere that had some kind of egghead type name.
How I was laid to rest.
Notice how she started specific with a red dress, then went more vague. If you start specific and get a hit, people are pretty impressed. But by resorting and shifting to a vaguer image, she increases her odds of getting a hit. Sure enough, someone on the other side of the room buried someone in a fuchsia dress.
My mother was in a fuchsia dress.
But wait a second.
You're wearing a red shirt right now. Maybe your family just looks good in red.
My mother was in a fuchsia dress.
But wait a second. Caputo seemed to imply that she guessed the fuchsia dress.
It's the details that spirit gives is what is mind-blowing. It is not common that someone would lay someone to rest in a fuchsia dress.
Making it seem like she was more accurate than before. Remember, she guessed either a red dress or an odd burial, not a fuchsia dress, which is what the lady on the other side of the room connected with. But let's be generous and give Caputo the benefit of the doubt here. Let's not assume that she's trying to mislead, and maybe that she just misremembered or didn't articulate her thoughts very well.
Okay, fair enough. Again, I am trying to come into this as a skeptical person, but as somebody who was willing to, again, believe nothing except that anything is possible. Convince me. I am here to be convinced.
Trying to mislead, and maybe that she just misremembered or didn't articulate her thoughts very well. Even still, how is it that psychics like her seem to get nothing but hits with audience members? When a person in the audience connects with something, psychics often fire off a barrage of questions, reading a person's body language to see if they got a hit or not. If the person's nodding, smiling, or crying, they'll pause and let them elaborate. But if they look puzzled or taking too long thinking about it or shaking their head, the psychic is quick to rattle off more questions until one of them sticks.
Does that make sense? Or do you understand that?
Well,
does that make sense? Does it make sense? Or, crazy thought, do you understand it? Do people not hear this shit? Do people not hear this shit? Listen again. She just said that.
One of them sticks.
Does that make sense? Or do you understand that?
Well,
and she did. It wasn't like a follow-up, like, it makes sense, you understand? It's like, do you make sense? Does that make sense? Or do you understand that?
Who passed from the...
Which, if I, in my skeptical brain, is meant to be like, well, are you asking me if I understand? Or are you saying that I either understand or it makes sense? Or, and it just gives her the opportunity to then shotgun, to use their words, more bullshit into their face.
This way, the misses are less obvious and only the hits stick. And when they do, they resonate. The person, after all, is desperate.
Guys? A $5 Cash App or Venmo to anybody who knows what word we've used before many times on this channel. If you can get the word that I'm thinking, I will. Here's what I'm gonna do. I forget what we're talking about, but I have the word. I'm gonna type it in the kick chat.
And only the hits stick. And
oh yes, okay. Only the hits stick. Let's said it out loud. It's already typed. It's already typed. You can hear when I type. All right. Somebody should know. I already gave you a clue, but it starts with an R. What is what we call this? And I'll give you an even better clue that I usually use the example of planes and military members.
Until one of them sticks.
Does that make sense? Or do you understand that?
Nope.
Well, who passed from the chest?
This way, the misses are less obvious and only the hits stick. And when they do, they resonate.
Only the hits stick. Anybody. Hey, we got our, where is it? We got our boy Dylan. Oh, we got our boy Dylan Zoop in the building. Welcome to the party. A perfect time. Let's see. There's a phrase that I use all the time. Not redirect. Nope. There's a phrase I use all the time when I'm talking about why people are afraid of plane crashes and why I, as a kid, thought that if you're in the military, that you have to wear your uniform everywhere. One more time for Dylan as he's coming through. Well, in general, Dylan, we're talking about, I don't know if you're familiar with John Edwards, but the cold readers and psychics and is there somebody in your family with a J? Those kind of people. And so it's a keyword.
Or do you understand that? Well, who passed from the chest?
Right? She was even like, what do you mean?
This way, the misses are less obvious and only the hits stick.
The misses are less obvious and the hits stick. It is a phrase and 2 words. Nobody. All right, we'll give it we'll keep it going. Think about it. You've heard me say it before and you're gonna be mad when you're like, damn it. One more time. We'll give it on and we'll
who passed from the chest?
This way, the misses are less obvious and only the hits stick. And when they do, they resonate. The person, after all, is desperately hoping for a connection and is usually more than willing to help the psychic out and make the guesses fit.
We both lost our brother, Bob.
Bob's spirit's here. And
if it becomes obvious that nothing's sticking, the psychic can easily excuse it away with something like, I could be piggybacking.
Because I might be piggybacking.
Or it could be someone else in this area.
Somebody's in prison. Or somebody was in prison. So in this section, somebody was in prison.
Or think about it. You could remember later.
Maybe have a think about it. It may come back a little bit later on. Okay.
But how do they get a hit with?
We're not going to get. Nobody else is going to guess. The phrase here, I don't know if we can see this, but it is here. And let's zoom this in. The representative heuristic. The reason that people are afraid of airplanes, despite it being the safest way to travel, is because you don't typically hear about every single flight that makes it perfectly. You only hear about, when my parents got their flight canceled and they had to stay overnight. You only hear about the crashes. You only hear about this. And so when you think of planes, then crashes come to mind a lot more often than in reality crashes occur. And again, I've told the story many times that I asked my dad one time when I was young. We were at the mall, and I saw a guy in his military getup. I'm like, Dad, how come the soldiers, even if they're just at the mall, how come they always have to wear their uniforms? And he's like, what? Stupid. They don't. What are you talking about? I'm like, yeah. Every time I see someone, they're always. It's like, yeah, every time you see somebody in a uniform, you know they're in the military. How many of these people are walking around that are in the military that you don't know are in the military because they're not in their uniform? The representative heuristic. That is what we are talking about. Whose projection? What did I miss? Nick said, what's funny is my mom and I both had what would be called psychic experiences, and I'm still skeptical about it. I figure just because I don't know how to explain it doesn't mean it's real. There you go. That is skepticism. That is humility. Yeah, I don't know what projection we are talking about. Not any here, but the representative heuristic. I don't know. I just JetBlue use oh, what the hell just happened? What did I click? Oh, okay. Does JetBlue use Boeing's? Because I just signed up for Freedom Fest, and it was not fucking cheap. So shout out to everybody who's put money down, because I am in debt to meet people and make this channel a real fucking platform. I'm doing it for you. I didn't even want to go. I'm figuring out what I got to do with Morty. I don't want to be away from him. I don't want to fly. I don't want to do any of that, but I'm doing it for all of this. The Funkmaster said, being in a cramped tube with smelly people is the first thing that comes to mind. Well, I mean, that always does happen. So that would not be the representative heuristic. That would just be a representation of what it's like to be on a plane. But what that guy is talking about, well, the people forget about the misses and the hits stick. That is the representative heuristic, which is what these people rely on to get the suckers.
Think about it. It may come back a little bit later on. Okay.
But how do they get a hit with something like, I'm feeling a father figure who died of cancer with a J name like James connected? If you're going to make a guess as a psychic, and let's face it, all cold reading is a series of questions, guesses, general statements, and inferences based on observation, you're going to want those guesses to be high probability, without people realizing that you're playing the odds.
I'm getting a birthday in June or September.
Here's a great example. James Van Prague has just turned his back and had the show host give some ribbons to a random person in the audience for him to blindly read by holding a matching pair of ribbons.
Is this a female that is holding these? Yes.
No female. Shit, Sherlock. You're in a room packed with...
How many men are in this room? Okay, let's just see if we can see. There's a guy here. Okay. There's a guy here. These three look like guys. So that's what do we have? We had the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 men. 11 men out of all these ladies. Is it a female? Brilliant. Brilliant.
That is holding these? Yes.
No shit, Sherlock. You're in a room packed with women. I see maybe 4 dudes in the entire audience. But
we counted 11. Come on, bro.
But most psychics are more discreet than this. If I claim to be a psychic and guess that someone in a crowd knows a John Smith, nobody would be impressed. But did you know that James, not John, is the most common guy's name in the US?
Who is James?
Who had the Jim in that family? Or the James?
Is the Jim?
That's the other thing. That Jim, James, Johnny, Rick, Dick, all in the same shit.
Or James connected.
For girls, the most common name is Mary.
The name of either Mary, Margaret.
Is there a Mary person, like a Marie, a Mary?
Got a connection to Mary. I'm getting Marie, Mary, Maria.
And who is the MR name? Mark, Mary, Marie.
While people are more impressed when a psychic guesses an exact name, more often than not, psychics just guess an initial.
I feel he's like a J.
He's also showing me a J.
Why can't they just talk? Why does it got to be, there's a J name, there's a this?
Well,
because you don't know anything. You're fishing. You're cold reading.
Even when guessing the most common guy's name in America, these vultures still get misses.
No.
Is he J-A or J-U? Or is he not John or J? I don't know the name. Jerry? Jeffrey?
Jez.
Okay, close enough. I probably know that I get that.
No. Because
Or the James.
If they go from James to a J sounding name, then they can radically increase their odds. But sometimes even that fails.
Or J.
Is it J sounding?
Or G? It could be G.
Is her sister Jerry?
Bingo. Throw in a J sounding G name like George, Gerald, etc. And they even further increase their odds.
They tell me to talk about the J or G name like Jack or James. They tell me to talk about the J or G connection. There's a J or G name that they want me to highlight.
You're a J.
Guamze said, all these debunking videos make me think you would like checking out all the both Shido and Chi-based martial arts videos out there. They actually get massively infuriating to watch. I think I would enjoy that. In the same way that I would be very, very, very triggered and upset. But I kind of like that. I think you're right.
Name like Jack or James. They tell me to talk about the J or G connection. There's a J or G name that they want me to highlight.
You're a J or a G in that name, like Marjorie?
Is that where like the J or G like George or Jerry comes up? Where's the J or G name? Are you the J or G sounding name like James?
Where's the J or G name or the M or the R name with the ladies?
Or Joni? Who is the J name?
It's a J or G.
Giovanni, but we call him Johnny.
Jim? Judith?
My
name's Jade.
Because it would be too time consuming to examine every name in America, let's look at the top 200 names in the US over the last 100 years, according to the Social Security Administration. 38 of the top 200 names in America start with J.
Damn! 38! 38! 38! That's what? A sixth of all of the top 200 names start with a J. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. I think Guamtek's just as much as a psychic as John Edwards or whatever this fucking Karen bitch's name is. God damn.
According to the Social Security Administration, 38 of the top 200 names in America start with J or G. That's 19%.
What did I say? I definitely didn't say 19. What are you crying about, dude? He's in the same spot. He's in the same spot. I just offered you to come up here, and then you ran away. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? He's going to do it again. He's going to do it again. Come on up here, Bubba. Come. Come, it's okay. I do everything for this motherfucker. I do everything for you. Why don't you appreciate it? I'm just kidding. I love you so much. Okay. Any film set to Guam, that stuff is real. I've already just knocked the Indian Jesus with his cheese. What? I have no idea what that just, what?
Of the top 200 names in America start with J or G. That's 19%. To keep the math simple, we'll say 1 in 5. That doesn't seem like that high of a number, but think of it this way. Here's an example of a pretty small family tree. Only counting close relatives like grandparents, parents, uncles, aunts, siblings, nephews, nieces, and cousins, there are already 20 people here. If you're married, you can double that number with in-laws. But I don't want people to accuse me of exaggerating, so I'll lowball the estimate. Now take that 1 in 5 statistic. Odds are that about 4 people in this family of 20 will have a J or a G name. Assuming that no one in the audience is married or has a massive family, then in an audience of about 250 people, there will be approximately...
Morty's sitting here like...
approximately 1,000 J or G name family members represented. Now, most people who go to these types of readings go to connect with one or multiple lost family members, meaning that there's probably at least 250 deceased people represented by this audience. If 1 in 5 of those 250 have J or G names, then that's 50 deceased people with J.
Took me a second, but I figured it out. Thank you.
Or G names represented in an audience this size. And remember, that's on the low end, assuming everyone has a small family and isn't married. But most people in these audiences are older, probably have larger families, and have probably married at least once, so that number is almost definitely much higher. Now, the leading causes of death in the US are heart disease and cancer by a long shot, usually targeting the middle-aged or elderly. In a room full of adults, it's pretty high odds that someone has lost a father to one of these causes.
Who had the heart problem?
But just to be safe, the psychic can increase their odds further by guessing
it's the confidence. Who had a heart problem? Or a brain problem with the brain meeting the heart. Circulation, cold feet, cold feet at the wedding. That's exactly what I was getting. Yeah, 26 letters to guess from, and some are fairly unlikely, like Z. So in a large room of people, how can you not get someone to say, that's me? Especially if they already believe. And how the fuck is this different from going to church? Explain to me the evidence difference between what you have here and what you have in church.
Father figure, which includes fathers, uncles, grandfathers, fathers-in-law, adopted fathers, or just a fatherly friend.
My coach.
I feel like there's a father figure reference that they want me to bring through, but that to me would be like father, uncle, grandfather.
First, I have a man here as a father figure that comes to me, and I feel like I'm over here.
To tell me to acknowledge a male figure to the side who has crossed over. That's maybe like husband, brother, cousin, or friend. Is your dad passed?
No.
Who's the father figure who's passed?
My grandfather.
Your grandfather, and he must have been like a dad figure for you, and in some respects,
It feels more like a father in the spirit world.
I don't know if your dad's passed, but in that back section, I've got an older male who's coming through back there. But it's an older male energy. That's maybe like father, uncle, grandfather. Okay, is there a father figure that passed?
Older male figure that's passed, that would be like a father figure.
Now, if you throw it all together, you have a deceased father figure who died of cancer, and there's a J or a G connected. Notice, to increase their odds even higher, they don't say that the person who passed had a J or G name. They just say a J or G name is connected to the deceased.
They tell me to talk about the J or G connection.
As in, they're related to someone with a J or G name, which remember is just about...
Yup, this and church equals Chris Angel. Now, I'm not gonna lie. When I saw this,
I want you to sit at the end of the bench and lay back. You have a phone?
I flipped out.
I want you just to close your eyes, just relax.
This is Chris Angel, and this is a volunteer.
Pull!
I'm not gonna lie and say I was like, oh, what the fuck did I just say? I was also like 12 or 13. And this very clearly is not how the human body works. But yes, this, church, Chris Angel, all in the exact same category. You can pretend it's different, but it's not. Next, I don't think there is, but I admit I'd have a bias against it, so take that with a grain of salt. Yeah, you know. Use plants and fake bystanders. Yeah, they all do. They all do. So let's see what Guantech has for us here. Said a classic. A classic. Let me make sure we're not getting missing anybody on Kick. Of course we're not. Why the fuck am I still streaming to Kick? Nobody ever come through. Who the fuck is on Kick? Do you need to be like committing crimes for somebody to actually want to watch what you're doing on Kick? Is that how that works? Anyway, George Dillman Bullshido, no touch KO debunked by National Geographic. All right, so again, National Geographic. They're they might be copyright heavy, but
throughout the body. Chi, it flows throughout the body. Without it, you don't function.
And it's a radio wave.
Science can't find Chi. It doesn't exist as far as science can tell.
The music, I love the music. My tree so hard, yeah, gonna knock you out with my tree, yeah.
No doubt, George Dillman is a force to be reckoned with. He's a 9th degree black belt who has taught everyone from Muhammad Ali to Bruce Lee.
I don't think so.
And he's able to drop just about anyone using applications of pressure to certain points along the body.
Talk to me. When you see this as a trained martial artist, at least a lot more than I would say, I think everybody here, but at least most of us, and definitely me, as a mixed martial artist. Talk to me. What are you seeing here? What is going on in your mind?
Anyone using applications of pressure to certain points along the body.
You can't take it there. Get him. He's probably weak right here. You okay? This way at the same time. Pressure point knockouts are the easiest.
Now that I'm seeing his face like that, I do remember watching this.
Way to put a person down. I can put the largest person that you can find in the world, and I've done this. With that finger, I can put him on the floor.
You talking about prostate, bro? You talking about prostate, bro? Something's like, bro, it hurts to watch. Pressure points can work, but this is complete bullshit-o.
There's a big guy's man on the street.
But that's just the beginning. Dillman claims to have adapted this technique to where he can knock a person out without having to touch them.
Use chi energy out of this hand, and we're going to affect up on the head of the third eye.
It's like, yeah, like in, there's like the space in here where it's like, yeah. Where it's like, ouchie, or like over here, and like, all right, like, because there's nerves there, but like, you ain't knocking nobody out, bro.
Snap, couple. Back. There we go.
All of these karate techniques are made possible by manipulating chi.
Manipulating students.
Makes a chi ball. He'll get the radio frequency going between the hands. And if you get up and feel, it's actually hotter inside that ball.
Whoa!
I've seen them all.
Guys, I can feel it. My fingers are getting hot. Oh my god! It's gonna take out my camera. I don't know. Oh my god, did you guys see that? That was insane! Oh my god! The chi is real, guys. Holy shit. Oh man. We have fun. All right, moving on. Oh, I couldn't help myself. I could not help myself.
If you get up and feel, it's actually hotter inside that ball. I've seen him already knock people over with it. He throws the chi in such a way that when he catches it, it knocks him backwards.
For Dillman, chi Chi is like electrical circuitry.
Yeah, let's do that trick. All right, ready, guys? Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get the chi. All right, we're gonna get the chi. I'll just okay. We're gonna get the chi. And oh, I'm starting to feel it. I'm starting to feel it. Oh, god damn it. Oh, I thought that was gonna be copyright, but they're just saying bitrate, but whatever. Okay, so the chi is messing with the stream, but that's okay. It's working. That is how serious this is. That is how serious this is. What are they saying here? Bitrate is audio stream's current bitrate is lower than recommended. Okay, let me know if there's anything with the sound or anything. Let's finish this up. This is getting off the rails, guys. This is getting off the rails. I got raptured, but I came back. The Indian Jesus. Let's go. Proof. Oh, shout out to Raven Dawn. Welcome to the party. You definitely got to be careful because you never know. But you never know unless you try. Welcome to the party, Raven. You just witnessed a miracle. I was spirit bombed. I was invisible, and I was raptured, and it all happened in front of your face, live on air. After 3 seconds, because, you know, a day in the Bible doesn't actually mean a day. So just like your Lord and Savior, I have returned.
Knocks him backwards.
For Dillman, Chi is like electrical circuitry.
Hey, we also got Giggling Spy in the building. Wait, are you on 2 different accounts? Either way, welcome to the party. Good to see you. Why don't you say hi when you pop in? Just be like, hey, yo. I mean, if you're just chilling, but impressive, he said. Impressive. I thought so. You know, he said keep an open mind, and I kept an open mind, and it worked. I think the most entertaining part is towards the end where he tries it on a scientist. Let's do it. All right, let's go here.
Stand up to a knockout punch of Chi because it doesn't exist. In the other corner,
you guys can still hear that, right?
It's 8th degree black belt Leon J., one of George Dillman's top associates and fellow practitioner of the no-touch knockout. This ought to be interesting.
In fact, when we did the test on Luigi, who was not ready to believe these things.
You're not ready to believe. It doesn't work if you don't already believe.
So maybe it was just staying there, seeing what.
No, Nick, you're misinterpreting. The Gospels. When they said 3 days, they were talking about different time periods. A day just meant like a while. So in Genesis, a day was like an era. In the Gospels, a day was like a second. And so I didn't do better than Jesus. I am Jesus. And just like when I was crucified, I came back in 3 days, but those days were only what you would call 3 seconds long. And so when I did that, then I was just doing exactly.
Bingo! Stupid.
I did stupid. Yeah, Giggling Spy. So this reminds me of faith healers. I mean, one step aside from what we were actually kind of talking about with mentalists and mind readers and tarot card readers and all that kind of stuff. It's all in the same bucket of you saying shit that you don't know to make other people feel better so that they give you money. Kind of like the Democrats. Am I right? And Film said, I think that's why we lost the Vietnam War, because the Viet Cong didn't believe in our bullets. Brilliant. All right, let's see this guy, and I think this stream is running the course.
So maybe it was just staying there, seeing what would happen. It didn't work.
Dillman thinks he knows what went wrong and has come up with a very interesting explanation.
The skeptic was a totally non-believer. Plus, I don't know if I should say that on film, but if the guy had his tongue in the wrong position of the mouth, that can also nullify it.
What? You can knock out the biggest man on the planet Earth without touching him, unless he can clover his tongue. If he can clover his tongue, oh my God, saved! How do you get this far? How do you get this far down the rabbit hole?
The guy had his tongue in the wrong position of the mouth, that can also nullify it. Yeah, you can nullify it. You can nullify a lot of things done to you. In fact, you can nullify them if you raise those two big toes.
Okay, so all right, I'll put my tongue in whatever position you want. And then try again. And I guarantee you, it will not work. Because you're a fraud! Even though I should have said I shouldn't say this on film, but he's got a low sperm count or a small penis, it won't work. That would have been smart. That would have been smart. It's like, bro, just lift your big toe and turn your tongue, and she don't work. Tell that's a Goku. I don't even watch Dragon Ball Z, and that's still funny. What? Oh, that's what I'm doing. Okay. Nick said, not very effective if you have to believe in it, just like religion.
You can nullify a lot of things done to you. In fact, you can nullify them if you raise those two big toes. Plus, if I say I'm going to knock you out, and you raise one toe and push one toe down, can't knock you out. And then if I go to try again, you reverse it.
So then that's nothing. So all I ever have to do is just walk around with my big toe off the ground, and you can never, ever, 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 ever do anything to me. What are we doing? What are we doing? And again, notice how fucking hilarious this whole shit is. How is this different than what you genuinely believe in? Genuine question. How is this different than what you genuinely believe in and live your life by? How is this different?
If you keep doing this, I won't knock you out. Plus, the skeptic was a totally non-believer. Plus, and I moved the line. Plus, I've flatlined several people. Plus, I know I have chi energy.
Do you know?
You can see it with the half moons. My chi is up now because of the filming. I have half moons in my finger.
Because these people believe their own bullshit. And so what likely happened is that this guy went to some other fake guru who and he was gullible enough to believe that guy saying, oh, you must believe for it to work. Oh, okay, I believe that it works. And then he started believing it. Then he started his own school with a bunch of other gullible retards. They were like, oh, you gotta believe it works. And then they let it work, and so on and so on and so on. The spy said it must be where stay on your toes comes from. Oh, good one. But that's actually bad advice. You want to stay off your toes. That's the cheat. That's the secret cheat, is that they tell you, hey, stay on your toes, because if you stay on your toes, they got you. So stay off your toes. We figured it out.
Fingertips down. Plus, I can put the largest person that you can find in the world, and I've done this. With that finger, I can put him on the floor.
I have nothing better to say. I have nothing good to say beyond what is different between what we just watched and the reasons why you believe what you believe. If you can't answer that question, or you won't answer that question, maybe don't be mad at me. Maybe be mad at the person who's been lying to you your entire fucking life, or the people that have been lying to you your entire fucking life to make you believe a thing that you have no business believing in. just my advice. Just my advice. Take it for what it is. But I'm glad we, we did something a little bit different today. I think it still fell in line with what we're trying to do here, but a little bit different, a little bit fun, with still having a serious message. I hope that it was hope it was good for you as it was for me. Let's shout out our boys. We had Indie Film with the $5 Rumble rant. We had Zippy the Strange kicking his own Rumble rant. We had the Funk Master General with the big $10. We had Guamtech sitting in the main mode, sliding beneath those YouTube censors, not taking any of our money. And of course, our sponsor of the stream, once again, as always, the Funk Master General. Thank you so very much. All of you guys, all of you, whether you've opened up your wallet or not, the fact that you are here, the fact that you are part of this conversation, the fact that you definitely like the video, because you would not like the video at this point, right? I so very much appreciate you. I really do. The fact that you guys could be doing anything and you are spending this time here means the world to me and to Morty. I really mean it. So thank you so very much. Of course I do. We need money to live, and the Freedom Fest ain't cheap. So shout out to all the donations that's what it's going to. But even if you can't do that, I don't know what your finances are like. I don't know what your money's like. This is a free show. And if you like what I'm doing and you want to build this platform, then you are absolutely free to throw in some money. But if not, it's a free show. Enjoy the show. But thank you guys so very, very, very much. I really do appreciate it. Nick just dropped the link to the Discord server. It's absolutely free to join. But remember, if you join as a member of the YouTube channel here, then you get immediate access to the after party, which I have just joined right now. It has already started, so make sure you are there. Once again, thank you to each and every one of you. But a big thank you to Indie Film, to Zippy the Strange, to the Funk Master General, and to Guamtech. Thank you guys. I very, very, very much appreciate it. Once again, that is Morty, and I am your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Until next time, guys, we are out of here. Peace.